This man would have no problem dragging me off to a dungeon. And you slide me in a tiny little area where I barely fit. I'm claustrophobic, so it starts to freak me out. My shoulders are big and burly. That's why you're afraid. And why do my hands need to go behind my back? Why do I have to be completely debilitated? They treat me like total crap. I can't look at them in the eyes. I have to look at the floor. And then if I give any kind of resistance and don't give them full dominion over my fingers as they fingerprint me, then what happens next is they slam my head into the wall. That's happened to me once. Every day, 100 emails of people saying, please help me. I got this jackboot thug pig here in Texas. I got a guy in LA. I got a story on camera. He got picked up for not paying traffic ticket. He's now HIV positive. It's not just one or two, and it's not a few bad apples. You have bad apples on this police department. I'm not going to a dungeon because this pig over here and this pig over here want to drag. I mean, look at the terror flag he's wearing. Look at the terror flag he's wearing. Video. What happened?
That's his business, not yours.
My business to ask, though, you know what I mean? I was actually going to drop the cameras and go into Kung Fu mode. Good thing you came back. If you hadn't come back, I was going to Kung Fu, bro. I'm just standing there filming, you know? These guys are so predictable. Such beta male chumpzillas that when you put torture cuffs on someone, you're torturing them.
I appreciate your information.
Well, it might not affect you at all. You might not give a rat's ass about another man. How many cops do you guys need? You guys need a few more cops here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get another giant like this one. There's no third party to film cops searching your car. I mean, one time when after I became known across the country, then the cops didn't put me in torture cuffs quite as tight. I was in torture cuffs and the guy tried to cut off the blood to my ulnar nerve and my arm. That's why this hand shakes now. That's what he did. He's got his hands on his head like a POW though. You know, I'm not a fan of police, but at the same time, I'll treat you like an individual. Absolutely. Until someone gives me a directive or tries to demand my ID or.
No, so you can't do that in here. You can do it to us all you want.
So let me
report other people.
Now let me tell you this: go pound sand, go pound sand, bro. Jump down on your knees and eat my shorts. I'm filming them right now. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? No, you can't. No, you can't. Go ahead. Now let me educate this dirty jackboot thug pig. You have a First Amendment right to film police. That right does not change when you go into a police lobby. It's right there, the right to film cops. You got people like that who don't know that this is a public forum. I can film in here anytime I'd like. What are you gonna do about it?
Well,
you're not gonna do a damn thing. And if you do, I'll sue you personally under 1983. And then you'll face federal district court. Or take your happy ass back to your office and flee like a little dog.
That was easy.
Look at this kid. Look at him. Little stick figure they put in a costume.
That one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
This is a kid. I could wipe the green from out behind his ears. Don't do this crap. Was your daddy a pig? Tell me what happened. Retire now, dude. Are you going to physically stop me from doing my job?
I'm not going to physically do that.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to walk around here and take some videos.
Okay.
So if you're done, then head on back.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
Appreciate you.
Okay.
So that was a lie.
Today I just help with police calling or mailing.
What did he say?
My dad was in the police department from 1946 to 1981. He retired as a shift commander. And I tell you what, this fire station was built in 1969. And he was here from 69 to 81. He was a shift commander here. And before that, you know where the big city hall is? When he first started, that city hall was built in about 1955. And the old city hall, he was in there. And then after that, but is there anybody I could talk to here?
Huh? Unless they want to come down to the gym.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
Instead of walking around sighing and breathing hard.
I don't like where this is going.
They're literally colluding together at the front and blocking me from entering.
Come on, man.
Dude, you better grab me while you got that badge on. I'm not going to physically challenge you, dude. Not while you got the badge on and you're working in a security capacity. I'm not going to challenge you. Hey, there we are. There's an officer of the law. I don't go in there and smash that desk and beat everybody up and say, I'll do what I want because I agree to live under a series of laws. I've agreed to that. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I won't violate your rights just like I don't want you to violate mine. I want a matter of record. I'm not willingly walking off. He's telling me if I don't leave that he's going to arrest me. And so as a man of law and order who respects the social contract and the rule of law, I'm going to do what he tells me to, because if I don't do what he tells me, he's going to arrest me. You are a bro. You're not tough at all. With your badge and gun, You got no badge and gun. You're a wuss. Don't get in my face, punk ass.
Excuse me.
Think you're a man with a gun in your hand, don't you?
You're a jack. Thank you for being a good. I'm telling you, dude.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Dude, get your hand off my camera, lady. I'm fired. Your dad's a pig. Your dad is a pig.
Call my dad a pig?
I think your dad's a pig, bro. Are you really? Get off me, bro. Get off me, bro. You want to attack me? Do it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. What's the matter? You don't want to be on camera now that you tried to attack me? You can't attack me, dude. You need to get on a stair stepper for a while.
Where is law enforcement?
For law enforcement for what? For having a civil discussion? Name and badge number. Name and badge number. What's your name and badge number? Hey, you have to identify yourself for the policy.
Leave him alone.
No, he has to identify.
No, he doesn't. Leave him alone. Go back to California. Leave him alone.
You're upset because he didn't identify himself.
You can't act in your official capacity and not give your name and badge number. This cop comes out here and starts demanding me around and then threatens me that he's going to come out. Well, then do it. Do it. Put me in torture cuffs. Then I get damages. Right now it'll be a declaratory judgment. He came out and asked me if my name was Dan. I said, I'm not going to tell you my name's Dan or not. And then he said, well, you can't film in here. You're making someone feel uncomfortable. So then I went right over and I put the camera on. The guy said, what are you going to do about it?
Got his name on the back here, and you also have my card with my contact information. We went away from badge numbers because we changed from badge numbers to department
Solomon
seniority.
Aries. Is he a lieutenant, a captain, a sergeant? What is Solomon?
He's a police officer.
He's an officer.
Yeah,
Well,
yes, sir.
he should not be promoted. You don't get to not identify and act in your official capacity. And that is worth filing for. It'll take me about 4 hours to write.
Policy not to jump out of his vehicle.
But you guys killed the battery. Are you going to help her get her car started?
Can't wait, so I'm awesome.
Off your policy. What's your name and badge number?
What?
So that you can identify the thousands of people watching.
Why do I need to identify myself?
Because you're an officer on duty, and according to the LVMPD handbook, when someone asks you for your name and badge number, you're supposed to give it.
Based off what?
Your handbook that I've read, that you have not read, obviously. I'm a member of the press. I'm a member of the press. I need to identify you. Okay, I'll do what I do.
I grew up in this town, and this is bullshit.
They were going
They left the lights on. I can't even steer my car.
If you're going to one up and you're going to film the police, you better know what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. You have to practice saying it. So when you see a copper, you're going to run up and you're going to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be filming this interaction. I invoke my First Amendment right. You can address me as Mr. Good Citizen. You have to have your stick down. Cop comes up to me and says something. I'm a little bit confused.
You can leave
I'm
our
going to
scene.
stand
Yes,
right
you can,
here.
sir.
I'm standing in the parking lot. I came to
Sir,
get
would
gas.
you like me to
and you guys,
trespass this individual
you
from your
can't
property?
trespass me. Honey, you can't solicit a trespass. Go ahead, let's follow it. Let's see if you're going to get sued. She's trying to solicit a trespass from owners. It's illegal. You guys are seeing it all over the country. Auditors are getting arrested left and right. And why are they getting arrested? Because they don't have their stick down. They don't have their lingo, their jargon, their mumbo jumbo, and they don't invoke their rights. Now, when the cop comes up to me, the first thing I'm going to say is, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. What's your name and badge number? Now, I just said that I get to be quiet, and you have to tell me who you are. You see the power in that? You see the power in that?
What is going on out there in the land of the unfree America? How is everybody? Welcome to another rendition of Delete Laws. Every single day, I grow a little bit better than I was before. Every single day, I'm able to advance a little bit more, get over this PTSD from being in jail. Everybody, welcome to Delete Laws. If you would, please hit the like button, and then drop in that comment section for me. OTVO stands for Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Put it in the comment section for me, if you would, pretty please, with sugar and cherry on top. Now, you guys are going to see something right here. How's the sound? You guys can hear me okay? Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. We got a 5x5 over there. Little 5x5 action. Little 5x5 action. How we doing? OTVO. Can you guys hear me all right? Everybody hear me okay? Let me know. Great. Okay. So now, as you guys know, there's a lot of people. How many people here are getting into filming cops? How many people here are starting to participate in actually going after these coppers and filming them? because I found this guy's channel on TikTok, Rick Rock, and let me see if I can pull his channel up. It's called sorry about that. It's called Law Loss. That's the name of this guy's channel right here. Everybody, welcome to Delete Laws. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Means a lot to me because YouTube is suppressing the hell out of this channel, demonetizing everything. I'm not allowed to show the police abusing, beating, killing, hurting, torturing, wrongfully imprisoning us. Because if I show the police doing that to people, well, then they'll lock my channel up, which is what they've done. They have cut the viewership on this channel so much, it's unbelievable. But, besides being suppressed, my First Amendment right being crapped on, yeah, YouTube is suppressing every single person who's in the government accountability space. And so you just have to think it's the United States of Google. It's the United States of TikTok, United States of Instagram. It's being run by government agents, whether we like it or not. And so when I was watching this video, Law Loss, the guy's name is Law Loss. I went to his channel on TikTok, Rick Rock. I went to TikTok Rick Rock and I went to Law Loss on his channel. And from the video we're going to watch right here, you're going to see that Law Loss. Sorry about that. I just got out of the shower, trying to get this fat weight off from the jail. They put me in that jail for 4 months. I'm trying to take the extra weight off because I put on 20 pounds of fat from eating Snickers and pastries and chips and garbage. I'm sorry, I've been on a little bit of a walkabout. I had to go to Phoenix. I got my teeth fixed. It's not exactly what I wanted, but I really like the dentist. They're going to fix it. And and I had to travel between Las Vegas, San Diego, LA, and Phoenix over the past week. So I've been traveling extensively. Free Eric Brandt right here. Free Eric Brandt. Right on. Let me know who you are, Free Eric Brandt. I'll go over to your channel, drop the link for your channel. I'll subscribe. But this guy right here, the video you're going to see right here. Okay. So there's something super important that we have to talk about, and it's called qualified immunity. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys have heard of qualified immunity before. Have you heard of qualified immunity? Have you ever heard of that? You ever heard of that? Chevy, what's up with the Playboy? I got to see Cope Doggy Dog earlier today. If you guys are not a member of Team DLZ, I'm just waiting for my web guy to finish this website, but we're having some fireside chats every week talking a little bit. And so I'd like for you guys to join. If you guys can join, Houston Hot Dog is here. But this video right here, the video about to see right here directly pertains to the term qualified immunity and how to beat the cops' qualified immunity. So I'm going to have to type a little bit here real fast, then we're going to come right back here. Okay, so let me open this big so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about right here. So the video we're about to see, the Supreme Court uses a 2-part test to determine if a government official is entitled to qualified immunity, called the 2-prong test. The 2-prong test. They say it's 3 prongs now, but we're going to get into that. Constitutional violation. Does a plaintiff allegation show that the official's actions violated a constitutional right? Number 2, the clearly established clause. If the first prong is answered yes, that the official's actions violated a constitutional right, the first prong is answered yes. Was the constitutional right clearly established at the time of the alleged misconduct and why the person was arrested? So 1, is it a civil rights violation is the first question. 2, was the constitutional right clearly established at the time of the interaction? And that's what you have to know to go around a cop's qualified immunity. Okay, so now we're going to get into this right here, and let me just, I hate to ruin it for you. I hate to ruin it for you here, but this guy's going to get arrested. Here's the $1 million question. Did he inform these officers of the right that they were violating, could these officers say, no, we got a call for suspicion, and so when he didn't cooperate, we arrested him. We didn't know he was engaged in a First Amendment protected activity like being the press. And so they're going to arrest him. And the question is, are we going to be able to go around the cops' qualified immunity?
You're just walking around reporting.
Is there a reason I'm doing a job? Yeah, to make money.
Okay. People have just been calling, just thinking it's kind of weird.
It's journalism. I'm sorry.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it's protected under.
Okay, so he says it's protected under the First Amendment. So he does call out the right that is being violated by the cops' harassment.
First Amendment, so.
I'm not saying you're not.
Sorry about that.
All right, hold on.
Am I being detained?
Yeah, right now.
For what? For which crime?
So I'm further investigating why you're walking around.
What crime? That's not a crime. Walking around isn't a crime. You have to articulate a crime before you can detain me.
I could also detain
Supervisor.
Okay.
Yep. You can't detain just anyone. You have to articulate a crime.
I can detain.
You're incorrect.
While I further
Get your supervisor and let's find out.
Okay.
Okay.
So is that true? Is what she just said true? And is what he said true? There's a lot of constitutional questions here.
Before you can detain me.
He says,
you have to articulate a crime before you can detain me.
It's frozen. I don't know why. It's still frozen. Wait 1 second. Still frozen. No clue why. It's frozen. Still frozen. No clue why. Let me go back a little bit and see if I can get something back here. Are we still here? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys are still here. If they have shut the stream down. Have they shut the stream down? What's up, Playboy? What's going on, Playboy? What's going on? Okay, did they shut the stream down or are we still here? Put a 1 if we're still here. Let's see if we can get this to play. I'm going to reload this.
Walking around reporting.
Is there a reason I'm doing a job? Yeah, to make money.
Okay. People have just been calling, just thinking it's kind of weird.
It's journalism. I'm sorry.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it's protected under First Amendment. So
he invokes his First Amendment right. So he clearly established which right she'd be violating.
I'm not saying you're not.
Sorry about that.
All right, hold on.
Am I being detained?
Yeah, right now.
For what? For which crime?
So I'm further investigating why you're walking around.
What crime? That's not a crime. Walking around isn't a crime. You have to articulate a crime before you can detain me.
I could also detain.
Supervisor.
Okay.
Yep. You can't detain just anyone. You have to articulate a crime.
I can detain.
You're incorrect.
While I further
get your supervisor and let's find out. Okay. Name and badge number.
No. So there's the constitutional question. Can she just detain him without a singular articulable fact of criminality? What's the answer? Can she just detain him? Yes or no? Put a 1 in the chat if it's yes. Put a 2 in the chat if it's no, or just put yes or no. Can she just detain him based on reasonable articulable suspicion? And what would that charge be? Now, detainment without torture cuffs is a different kind of detainment, right? So can she just detain him because somebody called? Because somebody called. What do you guys think? Do you think that she can, or do you think that she can't? Do you think she can, or do you think she can't?
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Okay.
But I am investigating why we're getting calls about someone walking around.
Walking around isn't a crime, though.
I never said it was a crime, but I still have the right to detain.
No, you do not. Okay. So I'm being illegally detained right now, is what you're telling me.
Want to say?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
But you are you're not identifying yourself. You're refusing.
What crime have I committed?
So at the end of the day, if
it's not the end. It's the beginning.
Listen to me for a sec. So if law enforcement requests your identification, right, your name, your date of birth, your ID card, your driver's license number, you are obligated to give that to law enforcement.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Not unless you can articulate it.
Okay. So that we're going to get into some untruths right there. That's not true, and we're going to go into that. But we're going to come right back to here, okay? So Terry versus Ohio is a landmark Supreme Court case that establishes the legality of Terry stops, stopping you based on suspicion, and frisks, the so-called pat down, based on reasonable articulable suspicion. In a Terry stop, officers briefly detain individuals when they have reasonable articulable suspicion to believe that the person may be armed and dangerous or involved in criminal activity. So what does that mean exactly? If she got a phone call, and by the way, the judge is going to agree with her. If she got a phone call that you were stalking and prowling in her neighborhood, then she can detain you. Yeah. That's how much power Terry versus Ohio ruins your life and makes a total police state. If she gets a phone call that you are stalking or prowling or looking at children, they'll say, she can detain you based on reasonable articulable suspicion of stalking or harassing. I was suspicious he was harassing neighbors. I was suspicious he was harassing the store owner. I was suspicious. I want you to read this again with me real quick. Officers briefly detain individuals when they have reasonable articulable suspicion. And so let me ask you a question. Whose side is the judge going to be on? Is the judge going to be on the First Amendment auditor side, or is the judge going to be on the cop side? Let me know. What do you guys think? Is the cop going to be on your side, on the person who's being the independent journalist, or is the judge going to be on the cop's side? What do you guys think? I'm just curious as to what you think. Cop side or your side? What do you think? So then this right here says that she can detain you based on reasonable articulable suspicion.
Just walking around reporting.
Name and badge number.
I'm sorry you feel that way,
Okay.
but I am investigating why we're getting calls about someone walking around.
Walking around isn't a crime, though.
I never said it was a crime, but I still
So
have
you
the right to
no,
detain.
you do not.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm being illegally detained right now, is what you're telling
You
me.
want to say?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. But you are failure. You're not identifying yourself. You're refusing.
What crime have I committed?
So at the end of the day, if law
It's
enforcement,
not the end. This is the beginning.
listen to me for a sec. So if law enforcement requests your identification, right, your name, your date of birth, your ID card, your driver's license number, you are obligated to give that to law enforcement.
No, you're not.
Gosh, now we're gonna have a Fourth Amendment violation here. This now, before, when she was saying she's reasonably articulably suspicious of the First Amendment auditor, then she's gonna have the judge that's gonna side with her. Because she can say, I was reasonably articulately suspicious that he had a gun on him. I didn't know if he had a gun or not. I was detaining him because I never saw his back. So he could have had a gun stuffed down the back of his shirt, and I didn't know. So that's why I detained him. That's why she's going to win the first one. If she's going to say she has reasonable articulable suspicion because someone called on you, then she's going to win that one. This is the one she loses, though. But you, as the First Amendment auditor, have to really know what you're doing here.
If law
It's not the end. This is the beginning.
Listen to me for a sec. So if law enforcement requests your identification, right, your name, your date of birth, your ID card, your driver's license number, you are obligated to give that to law enforcement.
No, you're not.
Okay, he's correct. No, you're not. But what would help you a ton? If you pulled out your Fifth Amendment card and it says Cant Demand ID, says he has reasonable articulable suspicion, it's number 4 on your Fifth Amendment cop card, non-driver because he's not driving the car, he's walking, and you say, while filming, I plead the Fifth Amendment, I identify as good citizen, no ID is required. The law right there is in blue with reasonable articulable suspicion. Even if someone called and said I was stalking them in the neighborhood or harassing them or teasing their children, whatever kind of BS you want to make up, you don't get around the Fourth Amendment violation that a Supreme Court case has already been established. With reasonable articulable suspicion, Hibble versus Nevada says citizen must state how they ID, not give ID without probable cause. She's going to win on the Raz argument. She won't win on the Fourth Amendment violation if you present it properly. You have to present it properly. Whether I like it or not, I don't like the two-pronged test. I don't agree with it. The cop should know what civil liberties he's violating. The cop should be up to date on the law. I shouldn't have to say you're violating my Fourth Amendment. Hibble versus Nevada says that citizen must state how they ID. You have to have some literature on you, because with the literature on you, You show the copper, you show the camera, you show the judge. Now, the judge at district court is going to rule against you. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. The judge at the district court level, the first step of the federal process, the judge at the federal level, federal district court's going to rule against you. It's going to rule against you 1,000%. He's going to rule against you. The circuit court might pick up your case and say, no, wait a minute. She violated his Fourth Amendment. You can't demand ID. She can sit there and lie, but she can't demand ID. So she's lying here.
Not
Okay.
unless you can articulate a crime.
So I can articulate that this
Walking around is not
behavior.
suspicious. Isn't a crime.
Okay, but it is something we have to investigate.
It's not a crime, so I don't have to comply with anything. I don't have to help you in your investigation.
Okay. Well, I am asking you to identify yourself. You are refusing.
I haven't committed a crime.
That doesn't matter.
It does matter. No, I do not.
Okay.
You are incorrect.
Okay.
Well, you're about to learn. I hope this is your supervisor. He's about to school you if it's your actual supervisor.
Okay.
Hey, sir. The officer asked you for your name and the information.
Do you think that this supervisor is going to be a bigger jerk? I mean, I had a talk today with some Team DLZ members, and I understand for me to be electable, I have to change my rhetoric a little bit, even though a lot of these guys are PIGS. You guys can say it all you want. But do you think he's going to be a bigger PIG, or you think he's going to be a smaller PIG? What do you think? Do you think he's going to be a bigger pig than the pig who's trying to violate his rights? Do you think he's going to be because it used to be a good cop, bad cop thing that they used to do. Now they do bad cop, worstest cop, right? Isn't that what they're doing? So this guy comes up, his rights are being violated, First Amendment being violated, Fourth Amendment being violated, and this cop's going to come up.
He's about to school you if it's
I wish he was about to school her.
your actual supervisor.
Okay.
Hey, sir. The officer asked you for your name and the information.
What crime do you suspect me of?
Well, like she explained to you, she's investigating suspicious activity.
Suspicious isn't a crime.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know y'all wish it was, but it's not.
Okay. Are you going to give her your name and information?
No, I haven't committed a crime.
What do you plan on doing, sir?
I'm doing my job, trying to without being harassed.
Okay.
I'm just gathering content for a story, and y'all want to harass me over it.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I'm investigating suspicious activity.
Suspicious isn't a crime.
Tell people about someone reporting.
Fully legal.
I mean, I hate to, I do hate to point it out, but this human being right here has literally nothing going on in her life. She can't do any other job. If she was capable of entrepreneuring, if she was capable of starting a business, if she was capable to work for somebody else that wasn't a military type system, she would do that. But she doesn't know how to do anything else. So she's just going to sit here and reiterate.
Y'all want to harass me over it.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I'm investigating suspicious activity.
I'm investigating suspicious activity. So what gives her the right to do this? What gives her the right to investigate suspicious activity? Can somebody put in the comment section for me real fast? What gives this bonehead dunce cap beta female who can't do any other job, can't do anything? She can't. If she could do nails, she'd work as a nail technician. She would do anything else. What gives her the power? There it is, right there. It's Terry versus Ohio. Without Terry versus Ohio, there's no cop saying, I got a phone call about you. If someone called the cops on you, the cops would have to go and take a look and see if there's any probable cause, if there's any law being broken. There would be no such thing as reasonable articulable suspicion without Terry versus Ohio. There would be no such thing as detainment. That's not real. That was made in 1968 by a racist Supreme Court. Earl Warren, the Chief Justice, he had really created some pathways for civil liberties to be respected. Miranda versus Arizona, 1966. Mapp versus Ohio, 1961. And so with those cases, the police unions and the police were so mad at Earl Warren that in 1968, right before he retired in 1969, he gave the cops a bone. Well, I'll tell you what, I've done these things to support people's rights in America, but then Earl Warren, what he did in 1968, he got all the boys together and said, hey, I know there's a black Supreme Court justice, but you need to vote with us, Thurgood Marshall. And so Thurgood Marshall voted with Earl Warren that they would wipe away the Fourth Amendment, create reasonable articulable suspicion, create this magical detainment space. And now that magical detainment space includes that you go in torture cuffs. Now, upon interacting with you, turn around, put your hands behind your back. This twit here, she doesn't know her ass from a hole in the ground. She has no idea unless she's getting, okay? She doesn't know anything. She really doesn't. I mean, she doesn't know anything. She doesn't, right? And this twit here, she's just repeating what the government has given her the right to do to you and I. And that's what you're seeing right now. That's what we're all seeing. We're seeing a massive police state, prison state, death state, where what do we hear all the time? Turn around and put your hands behind your back. Well, where's that come from? That comes from Terry versus Ohio. The only reason you should ever be arrested is if there's probable cause and you've broken the law and hurt another person. The Fourth Amendment is the right of the people to be free of unreasonable searches and seizures. Shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation of the victim. That's the Fourth Amendment. Terry versus Ohio wipes the Fourth Amendment completely away.
Suspicious isn't a crime.
People about someone reporting.
Fully legal.
Identification. If law enforcement asks for identification, you are required to identify.
You are not. Why?
Okay, so listen to this argument here.
I mean, like I said, I'm investigating suspicious activity.
Suspicious isn't a crime.
People about someone reporting.
Fully legal.
Identification. If law enforcement asks for identification, you are required to identify.
You are not.
You are not. But here's the whole trick to it. You have to have the literature on you. If you don't, they're going to arrest you. And they're going to say you didn't give ID. And the cop's going to say, I had no idea. And the two-prong test will fall in the favor of the police. The cop will get qualified immunity. And you'll get piddly-wink to nothing for your federal civil rights lawsuit. Whereas, if you say, no, cop demands ID, says that he has RAS, this is my non-driver cop card right here. It says here that I plead the Fifth Amendment and identify as a good citizen, no IDs required. With RAS, Hibble versus Nevada says citizen must say how they ID, not give ID without probable cause. And this would be Lawless's lawsuit. This is what he could sue on those grounds. But you have to have the literature on you. You have to show this dunce cap little piggy right here, this little pigtail. Look at her. She can't do anything else. Could have been a stripper, I guess.
Why am I not in jail right now then?
Because we're trying to not go that route by you not identifying yourself. So technically,
You see, I got bail money. So, I mean, if y'all really want to press it.
So technically, I can arrest you right now for resist obstruct delay. You're obstructing my
I'm not,
investigation.
no, I haven't obstructed anything. I don't have to help you in your investigation. I don't have to help you identify anyone. That's helping your investigation. That's your job. That's what I pay you to do.
Let me clear it.
We cleared up in court.
So someone just asked a second ago if Ruth Bader Ginsburg was racist. She wouldn't hire black people. She didn't even like black people. She didn't have any black people work for her. She didn't have any black friends. Was she a racist? I don't know. She didn't like black people very much, though.
Walking around reporting.
Over it.
I mean, like I said, I'm investigating suspicious activity.
Suspicious isn't.
Isn't it sad that such a waste of a person could be in charge? Like if you, and it's not just her, him too. But if you take a look at her, she literally has nothing to offer anybody. So she took a job with the state. She doesn't offer anybody anything.
People about someone reporting.
Fully legal.
Identification. If law
She's so insecure, she has no idea what she's doing.
enforcement asks for identification, you are required to identify.
You are not.
And then she's spouting off just stupid nonsense that's not true.
Why am I not in jail right now then?
Because we're trying to not go that route.
What do you mean trying not to go that route? Your job is not to arrest people. Your job is to help people. Your job is to uphold the rights of Americans. We're trying not to go that route. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's broken no law. He's on the public street filming. There's no law been broken. You're trying not to go that route?
You not identifying yourself. So technically,
You see, I got bail money. So, I mean, if y'all really want to press it,
I can arrest you right now for resist obstruct delay. You're obstructing my
I'm
investigation.
not no, I haven't obstructed anything. I don't have to help you in your investigation. I don't have to help you identify anyone. That's helping your investigation. That's your job. That's what I pay you to do.
Let me clear
We cleared up in court.
Well, we're not in court, sir.
We can be very easily.
I would like to avoid that.
I would rather not, because this is going to keep happening until you guys are taught a lesson.
What's that, sir?
That you can't bully people into giving ID when you don't suspect a crime.
Sir, nobody is trying to bully you into anything.
She just told me she could take me to jail if I don't give her my ID.
What she's trying to make sure you understand is when law enforcement are investigating something.
They can investigate whatever you want. You have to suspect me of a crime. What crime do you suspect me of? All she can articulate is suspicion, not a crime.
You're gonna listen, sir? You're asking questions. You want the answers?
Not really. I know the answers. Am I detained or am I free to go?
Right now, you're detained.
Okay. For what? For what crime do you suspect me of?
Because she's following up on investigation.
What crime do you suspect me of?
Suspicious activity.
It's not. So suspicion is a crime.
Are you gonna give her your name and information?
No.
Okay. Turn off your chains back.
Okay.
Just like that. What do we hear all the time? What's the constant that we're hearing in our country? Turn around and put your hands behind your back. Why? Why do I need to go to jail because I'm invoking my rights? And we're seeing it all over the country. It's everywhere we look. People are going to jail. You know, the video that I showed coming into this live stream, it kind of makes me cringe now because I just went to jail for 4 months for doing nothing wrong. My case was overturned on appeal, so I was exonerated. My criminal record was stripped of this charge. But it doesn't matter what you do. If you stand up to this government, their response is to arrest you. That's their goal, is to put a 1 in the chat if a cop's goal is to arrest you. If you know for a fact that when you interact with a cop, his goal is to arrest you. That's what his goal is. I mean, do you agree with that? The cop's goal is to arrest you. He wants to put you in torture cuffs, take you back to the office where he calls the DA backup. That's what we're looking at in this country, is that
he did sound intoxicated.
Trey.
Yeah, that's your call.
Cash repeating.
I think what's worse about this is that she brought the cops in. She opened the door and let the cops come in.
Hey, in here. What is that?
I'm for you too, Jamie. Jaime.
He's out here.
Is that the?
So this guy was in his own house, and she brought the cops into the house.
He's out here. He's got a rifle sitting next to him. What's going on? Yeah, well, she was safe.
I'm also part of the lease owner.
I know.
Trespassing.
But we have to
shoot you.
No, you couldn't.
I don't care. Death by cop doesn't sound too bad. But what do you want?
What happened?
I told her to get the fuck out.
Okay.
And so I pushed her the fuck out. She wouldn't fucking leave.
Okay, so as you guys know, the materials that I provide to you guys, the Fifth Amendment cop card and the TRIFOLD, it says I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. If you tell the cops that you pushed your girlfriend, your ex-girlfriend, your wife, your ex-wife If you tell the cops that you put your hands on another person, then they're going to charge you at the minimum with battery, but then that gives them probable cause to arrest you. You see, the Fifth Amendment is your guide as to how you interact with cops. What do you say to them? I plead the Fifth Amendment. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to film everything that happens here. He just told the cops suicide by cop. Now you made the cop think that you want to hurt him. Your best bet is to shut the front door, invoke your Fifth Amendment right, and stop talking.
Okay. Can you step in here?
No.
Can you step in here away from the rifle so that we can talk?
Go
ahead.
It's behind me. What do you want?
Yeah, like 3 steps behind you.
Yeah.
It's his house.
Okay.
It's plenty of time for you, Joey.
So
He just wants to know how she can
we
get
came
back
in
to
here,
Motel 6.
and she told us that she was going to.
I'm listening. Calm down.
That she's going to come in here and get her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to come in here to make sure she was safe because she's alleging that you were pushing her and could be.
I pushed her out that fucking door.
You pushed her out the door?
Yeah, 100% did.
Okay, why?
It's just, listen, I understand there's people who want to be honest. You want to tell the truth. You don't want to be a fraud, these things. But you can't tell cops you put your hands on another person. You can't show them video. You can't give them statements. If you interact with the police and you're in the right, you might go to jail. You might get shot. You might get killed. Put a 1 in the chat if you know for a fact you cannot trust the police. Let me put a 1 in the chat for me real quick. I know for a fact you cannot trust these police. And for the cops who don't call them pigs, just don't call them pigs, whatever you do, take a look at the numbers. There's 600 plus people watching this right now, and the majority of those people feel like they can't trust you. Not me. I didn't put a badge on and claim to be authority over other people. Look how many people distrust you cops. It's not me calling you a PIG. Oh, don't call them a PIG, Chili. If you call them a PIG, their feelings are going to be so hurt. Don't you call them a PIG.
You pushed her out the door?
Yeah, 100% did.
Okay, why?
I'm tired of her shit. I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of everything. Told her to get the fuck out. She was leaving anyways. She fucking screamed at me, so I put her out that fucking door. It's not even like she pays for this fucking place. She might be on the fucking lease, but I pay for everything.
Well, he shouldn't have said any of that.
Okay, well, that doesn't mean anything.
I know
it
doesn't legally. I don't really give a fuck either.
Okay, so you pushed her like both hands pushed her?
Yeah.
He's reiterating and solidifying the criminal battery charge against him.
Did you knock her over when you pushed her?
No, she stumbled. I picked her back up, and I put her out the door.
She stumbled and fell on the ground?
Well, she didn't fall on the ground. I grabbed her before she fell.
Okay. She stumbled after you pushed her, though?
She stumbled because she had lost her footing, yes.
Okay.
So let me ask you guys a question. And I just want to get your take on this. I turn 50 next month, and I've never ever been charged with domestic violence or any kind of abuse on any person. Never been charged with any kind of violent crime at all. So don't you think that couples who get down, make love, don't you think that they should be able to put their hands on each other at a minimum level without that being considered battery? Don't you think that? He didn't answer the door, Cheryl. The woman who he tried to kick out let the cops in. And she doesn't care that what could happen to this guy. But this is what I'm talking about. I was in jail for 4 months. 30% of the guys who I met in jail were in jail for domestic violence. Because if you touch another person, that's battery. But isn't that a bit ridiculous? You do a lot more touching in other situations than when you push someone out the door to get out of your house. And yeah, there should be an intervention for sure. 100% there should be an intervention. We should stop the violence 100%. But the idea that he should be charged with battery for pushing her out of his house is ridiculous. He's in the wrong because she lives there. She has a right to be there. She gets mail there. He can't just kick her out on the streets. That's not how the system works. But should he be charged with battery? You lose me here.
So you guys got an argument? Anything else physical happen?
No. And I saw you inspecting the door. That was long before you guys ever got here. That was when she tried to commit.
I'm not saying that was from. She didn't even.
So it was medical information, apparently, is what they're saying.
I'm not saying that was from. She didn't even said she didn't know what that was from.
Oh, she did because I punched that door before she tried to. That was like a month and a half ago.
Okay.
You said that's an airsoft gun? Huh? Did you say that's an airsoft gun or is that a real gun? Does that have a gun? Rifle? He has a gun with him? A rifle. It's on the porch. He has that with him. Yeah, it's real. It's real. With my interest.
Okay. So describe to me what happened, what led up to you pushing her out the door.
Don't do that. Invoke your Fifth Amendment right and don't talk to cops.
Me and her got an argument. I told her to get out. She was already leaving anyway for her birthday bash because we had the same birthday. She fucking screamed at me and I said, I'm tired of this shit. So I pushed her out the fucking door.
Okay. How hard did you push her?
Not very.
Not very. How many times did you push her?
Probably like 3.
3 times?
Probably.
And just all on the back, or?
And mostly, yeah.
Okay. How long you guys been together?
So the cop now has solidified that he has probable cause to arrest this guy. Now, everything else he's going to say after this is just bullshit. He's trying to find the right moment to arrest him.
On and off for like 9 months.
Okay. How long has she been living here?
We got this lease in November.
I think you rush things a little bit, bro. You got to slow down.
Okay. So what made you decide to start? She's already leaving the house. Why would you start pushing her in the back?
Because I wanted her to leave. She kept screaming at me. I'm done with this relationship. I don't think you understand that.
No, I understand. I think that's a great idea.
And then every time I try to fucking leave her too, or something, some bullshit fucking happens. Trips me. She does fucking something. I don't need this shit. I really don't.
I think one of them is bipolar or something, or schizophrenic. They keep on cutting out the medical information.
Okay.
Always the same shit with her. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm just trying to fucking leave. I go to work. I come home. Today, I went to work at fucking 7 a.m. Came home. It was perfectly fucking fine. She went to the fucking beach with good fucking time. Cool. I didn't want to fucking talk. She keeps asking me stupid fucking questions. I'm done tired of asking them. I told her I was fucking done with this shit. She fucking was like, cool, I'm leaving, whatever. She screamed at me. I screamed at her. She screamed at me again. I told her to get the fuck out.
Okay. And then you.
I'm with you on this, Jim. I agree 100%. Obviously, the relationship has gone sour. He didn't shove her to try to hurt her. He pushed her out of the house. So now it has to be worked out, but there's no reason for this to end up criminal charges and people being arrested. There's no reason that this man needs to be arrested and charged with crimes for simply pushing her away. I'm not saying it's right. There definitely has to be some sort of intervention. Nobody wants domestic violence. Nobody agrees with anybody hurting women or even men on that side. But the idea that he should go to jail is ridiculous.
You started pushing her out the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
End story. I pushed her out the fucking door, gave her her shit, went downstairs, gave her her fucking other car keys. So she had all her car keys. I didn't know if she had hers or not. Called it good.
Okay.
And I watched you guys pull fucking up and everything fucking else.
Okay.
I'm not going to jail tonight. I hope you know that. Like,
what does that mean?
I'm just letting you know I'm not going to jail tonight. That's why that fucking rifle's there. I'm not going to fucking jail tonight. either death by cop or not. I've been in plenty of firefights in my fucking life. I'm afraid of another one.
Oh. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen next? What do you think's going to happen next? What do you think's going to happen to this guy? You know,
Point being is I'm not fucking going to jail tonight. Refuse to. Take that as you will.
Can you just step inside here so that we can finish our conversation?
okay, so what could happen right here? Before we see how this is going to go down, what could happen here? They could say, honey, ma'am, come with us. We're leaving for the night. He's on one. Looks like he might be drinking. We're going to leave. We're going to come back tomorrow with a mediator to talk to you and deal with what's happening here. He doesn't need to go to jail right now while he's in the mental state he's in. If you force him, well, we know what's going to happen if you force him. The idea that you need to go to jail, don't you guys remember the video of the cop where they went to his house at 2:00 in the morning, set up a whole perimeter, then by 5 a.m. they shut it down and everybody left, and he had shot his ex-wife with a shotgun. Do you remember this? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys remember this case. Why can't they put a tracking device on his wrist or his ankle and then say, okay, we're done with this for the next 24 to 48 hours? Why does he need to go to jail right now? Let's say he's got to be punished. Let's say he threatened, right? Let's say he did something illegal. He destroyed the woman's property. Let's just say. He still doesn't need to go to jail right this second. There are ways now that we don't have to take him to jail right this second, and he can still face justice if he's done something illegal.
We were talking perfectly fine.
You just said you're going to fucking shoot me.
I didn't say I was going to shoot you. I said I wasn't going to jail. You can take implications.
You said if you're going to go to jail, that you're going to fucking shoot us.
That's not what he said at all.
I didn't say you were going to shoot you. If I want to shoot you, I could pick all three of you up. I can hit a fucking, on Ironsides, I can hit a fucking paper target from 300 fucking meters away. If I wanted to kill you guys, it would have already been fucking done before you walked out your fucking car when you guys all showed up in the convoy. I didn't say I was going to shoot you. I said I'm not going to jail.
So why can he not go to jail? I mean, how about the idea that they put a camera outside of his house in the front door, or a camera outside of the house of his back door, and you sequester him, and then you siege him, and then when he leaves, you deal with him when he's sober or not in a mental state like this, so his life doesn't have to be ended. But the cop, once again, just makes up lies and said, you threatened to kill me.
On Ironsides, I can hit a fucking paper target from 300 fucking meters away. If I wanted to kill you guys, it would have already been fucking done before you walked out your fucking car when you guys all showed up in the convoy. I didn't say I was going to shoot you. I said I'm not going to jail.
So let's take a look at Bootlicker Nick down here. So get that cop stick out of the back of your throat, bro. You're getting stuff all over your face. You look like a fool. So I never said to leave a drunk, abusive guy alone with his partner. I said, take the partner. Get that cop stuff out of your eyes. You'll be able to see straight. You're too busy sucking that stick, bro. Okay. Take her with the cops. Leave him sieged, where you have a camera in front, an officer in front, and an officer in back. With the two officers stationed there for 8 to 12 hours apiece, you're going to save more money for the taxpayer than you are killing him. And if the officer who stays there with him eventually could build a rapport, and then tomorrow he could go get Health and Human Services and get his mental state checked out. You'd have to stop sucking that cop stick, though, brother. You got it up in your cheek, bro. Looks bad. Look for you. You're getting the stuff in your eyes. You're not seeing in your ears. You must have jizz in your ears. You can't hear what I just said. I just said, take the woman with you. Did you see that? Bootlicker? Did you see it? Thanks for coming to the party.
Okay. Can you step inside?
I'm right here.
Yeah, but can you step inside
No, I'm stepping
away from the gun so that we can finish the conversation.
No, that he doesn't want to finish the conversation. He wants to attack him and put him in chains. And we all know that.
We are finishing the conversation. We are talking right now, and the gun's 3 foot up behind me. He can grab his pistol, she can grab her pistol faster than I can grab that fucking gun. So, you're not in any danger right now. If I walk backwards and grab that motherfucker, see, look at that. You're fine. You have your hand on your fucking pistol, you'll be fine. Calm down.
Exactly. You could just leave this guy alone.
Okay.
You could walk
So
away
you're
and
gonna
come
step
back
inside
tomorrow.
so that we can finish the conversation.
Is he drinking alcohol? He kind of slurred there a second ago.
No. We are talking perfectly fine right now. If she grabs her shit, she goes out the door, you guys go with her, like you just stated, then we're perfectly fine.
And then it's over. And whoa, could you, for all the bootlicking, cop sucking pieces of shit trolls that I hope you go over a cliff on a bus. Really, I really hope you go over a cliff on a bus because you're such a piece of shit person. You could leave him alone for 12 hours and then tomorrow you could still charge him with menacing or battery or assault. He could still be charged tomorrow. No, yeah. If he's going to off himself, he could just off himself. Oh, if he's going to off himself, he's going to off himself. But at least the cops won't be killing him. You put a camera on a frickin' pole right there that goes right in the ground with the camera on top of it right outside of his door. That feed goes back to a police decentralized peace officers unit where you could monitor if the guy leaves. It's a 4-way camera. Whoa, holy shit. You mean you don't have to kill him? No, you don't. You could just leave him, let him calm down, let him think about it, put a camera in front, camera in the back. Soon as he leaves, there's going to be an officer who walks up to him and says, hey, we know you didn't want to kill anybody last night, but you got to face what you did. He might not be drunk and in a mental state where he just went through a breakup, losing a 2-year-long relationship. Whoa, you're telling me we could do it another way? Yeah. Whoa, you've never been a cop. You can't say that. Yes, I can. You don't need to put torture cuffs on him in the state he's in. Get her stuff, and leave. Leave a guy out front, leave a guy out back, because he may be mentally unstable. This is where pigtails could really have a good job. Their job's not to stop him if he leaves. Their job is to go, he's leaving. Which car is his? We already know which car is his. We put a tracking device on it. Perfect. He's hitting Main Street. We don't need to attack and kill people anymore. We could stop where you have to comply now. Not with cameras anymore. You don't have to. Not with tracking devices, not with Apple AirTags. You don't have to comply right now. Oh my fucking God. You mean you don't have to kill people right now? No, you don't. He just gave the solution to the problem.
Okay. So are you going to step inside so that we can finish the conversation?
Now, here's the solution. Ready for this?
No. We are talking perfectly fine right now. If she grabs her shit, she goes out the door, you guys go with her, like you just stated, then we're perfectly fine.
Whoa. Whoa. Could you even imagine that? You could motherfucking leave his house. You could leave the guy's house. You could leave him alone for him to calm down. Right? You could, right? I mean, they could do that, right? I mean, they could leave him alone. They could, right?
Your life's not in danger, my life's not in danger, no one's life's in danger. I don't deal with this shit.
Okay. Are you not going to step inside for me?
No. I just told you that multiple times. You're going to keep asking me, I'm going to keep telling you the same answer.
Okay, because I want to avoid what you're talking about with your fucking rifle.
Why are you fucking talking, bro?
Rifle's just sitting there.
Yeah, I know it is.
I'm allowed to have it right there.
Okay.
This is not a fucking gun state.
Okay, but you don't understand why I'm concerned that you just talked about having a shootout with cops.
About that. Listen here, I did 2 fucking deployments overseas. I understand that. I understand about the whole fucking ass show, whole bullshit.
Just I don't want to shoot anybody right now.
Okay, cool. You're there. I'm here. We're perfectly fine having a civil conversation. Are we not? Are we not having a civil conversation right now?
Sure.
Okay. You're the one escalating this right now.
I'm not escalating. You're the one that brought up having a shootout with cops.
No, I didn't say have a shootout. I said I'm not going to jail. That's all I said. If you want to infer,
I didn't say I'm not going to jail or I will shoot it out with cops.
I did not say or shoot it out with cops. Never shooting cops.
Oh, sorry. A gunfight.
I never said a gunfight. I said I'm not afraid of getting a gunfight. There's been plenty of them. Did never say I was going to shoot a cop. Those words
That is what he said.
never came out of my mouth. That camera right there, and right there, and right there. Actually, yours is not on, but yours too. Oh, you.
I've got a newer one.
It's a new one.
Okay. Well, all 3 of your cameras will show that. Those words never came out of my mouth to shoot a cop. Ever.
Okay, have a shootout, whatever you want to call it.
I didn't say shootout.
But you understand why I'd like you to step inside.
Okay, you guys are there. You're no in danger. I'm not going to hurt you. She's grabbing her shit. We're all fucking kosher.
What I mean, why? I mean, just help me out here. I mean, let's listen to this together real quick. Let's listen to this together with today's cameras, with today's tracking systems. Could this be a reality today?
You to step inside.
Okay, you guys are there. You're no in danger.
You're no in danger. So it sounds like he's inebriated.
I'm not going to hurt you.
He's not going to hurt anybody or him.
She's grabbing her shit.
She's grabbing her shit.
We're all fucking kosher.
Everybody's kosher. Why can't that work? Why can't that work? Why can't they leave him right there with a man or a camera outside, put a tracking device on his car, put a guy outside on the balcony so he doesn't jump off the balcony? Why not give him a chance to calm down and live like you did that cop where you left the house after he shot his wife with a shotgun? Does anybody remember that story? Someone send me that story. I want to use it. I can't remember where it is.
Right. The matter here is that there's a rifle 3 foot behind you. I understand we have our own.
Right. There's a rifle 3 foot behind me. That is 100% understandable.
We are just trying to handle this civilly.
Right, which we are. She's grabbing her stuff. You ask about what happened. I told you what happened. You asked about the rest of the events. I said I watched you guys pull up. There was nothing that wasn't civil about this, was there?
Okay, but why won't you step inside for me?
Because I'm not going to get close to you guys. Because I can't win a 3-on-1 scenario. That ain't happening.
Who's talking about winning a 3-on-1?
Well, there's 3 of you all right there. If you want to back up, I'll step inside the door. But I'm not stepping inside this door with you 2 foot from me.
Okay, you want to step inside?
You want to step to the
and
bookcase.
close the screen door for me?
There's
the sliding glass door.
I'm not closing the sliding glass.
He doesn't want to go to jail. Could you imagine not wanting to go to jail? I've been there. It's not a very nice place.
If you want to step to the bookshelf, I will step inside, and we are both in agreement.
What bookshelf?
The one bookshelf that's in behind you. There's 4 of them. If you want to step back there, I will step inside. Look at that. Look at that.
There you go.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Now they're gonna. Oh man.
Okay. The issue is, she said you were shoved her to the ground.
I pushed her. I didn't push her to the ground. I pushed her outside that door. I gave her stuff. I made sure she had all of the stuff that she needed. I went downstairs to make sure she had her keys. I gave her keys, and then I went back upstairs. That is what happened.
So you can't put your hands on other people, but it doesn't sound like he was beating on her or killing her. It sounds like he was just in the end of a relationship.
Yes. She screamed at me. I screamed at her. She screamed at me. I put her out the door. That is what happened. I will refer that again many times over.
I know, but she's saying that you pushed her on the ground. You're admitting that you were pushing her.
Yeah, I did not push her.
So that is the issue at hand now.
Yes, I did push her out the door.
329.
So he told the cops that there was probable cause. You cannot have this kind of conversation with cops when they're looking to charge you.
Okay. So that is what I'm trying to have you come in here and talk with us about.
Right.
Without having a fucking shootout.
We're not having a shootout right now. We're talking. And
I know, but some statements were made.
yes, I said I was not going to go to jail.
Okay. Otherwise, you're going to have a shootout.
I never said I was going to have a shootout. Again, we are getting to semantics here. I never said that. And I'm not going to put those words in my mouth whatsoever.
Okay, well, something to that effect. I don't remember the exact words.
Okay.
Okay. So I'd like if you could work with me here.
I'm very much trying to. That's why I came in the door. You backed up.
Step in further away from the guy.
Right, which you wanted me to step inside, which I did. Did I not? Did I not? Did I not meet you halfway? You walked
you took
backwards,
one step forward, and
which I am inside the door.
Yeah, but the door's still open.
Yes, the door is 100% still open.
Okay. Can you work with me one step further and close the door?
I will close it halfway. I'll give you that.
They're just trying to make it so he has a barrier to get his firearm.
I will give you that much.
Okay.
When do they make their move? When do they go to full on attacking him? When do you think it is? When do you? There's only 3 minutes left and 2 minutes left in the video. When does the attack start?
So what now?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, like I said, the issue at hand
is that I pushed her out the door.
Is that you're pushing her out the door.
I 100% did.
Right. Okay.
You could charge him. They could charge him. They could charge him right there. They could say, we're going to give you a ticket for battery, but not tonight. We're going to come back tomorrow. Is that cool with you? We're going to give you a charge tomorrow. If we leave, are you going to be okay? You're not going to hurt yourself? No, you're not? Okay, cool. We're going to come back tomorrow. You admitted to battering her. We're going to give you a ticket tomorrow, and you're going to have to go to court on that. Do you agree to that so that we come back here without any violence? No one wants to hurt you. You don't want to hurt anybody. You just wanted to get rid of her. We're taking her. She's not coming back, and we'll come back tomorrow, and you're going to get a citation. Could be a felony for battery. Are you willing to work with us tomorrow after everything has calmed down? Why can't that be the reality? It can be. It can happen right now. There's absolutely no reason to kill this man. None.
So it's not a huge deal.
Yes.
Like,
oh no, it is.
Not any crazy marks on or anything, but it is technically a domestic assault.
Okay, great. It is technically a domestic assault. You can give him a ticket and he can go to jail later if he has to go to jail. You can take her away and end this now.
I understand.
Okay. So you understand that we have to do our jobs.
I understand that.
Right?
No, so this is, I'm so glad that we watched this. This is where America is completely up. If you're a bootlicking, like who's that guy that was in here, or Nate or whatever his name was earlier, just sucking cop stick, right? Your job is not to arrest people. Your job is to be a peace officer, to uphold the rights and the liberties of individual Americans. They could leave him here and now. He even said it's not that big a deal.
Pushed her out the door.
Is that you're pushing her out? Well, like I said, the issue at hand
is that I pushed her out the door.
Is that you're pushing her out the door.
Okay, so now we know there's going to be a charge for battery. He admitted to it. Okay, I'm cool with that.
I 100% did.
Right. Okay. So it's not a huge deal.
It's not a huge deal.
Yes.
Like, she doesn't have any crazy marks on her.
She doesn't have any crazy marks on her, so there was no abuse.
Anything, but it is technically a domestic assault.
It's technically a domestic assault. He didn't even call it battery. He called it domestic assault, which is one phase less than battery.
I understand.
So now at this point right here, he can say, I'm going to come back here tomorrow and ticket you. Am I going to be safe coming back here? Do you have any ill will toward police officers? No? Okay, cool. I'm going to write the ticket when I leave with her. I'm going to come back tomorrow and issue the ticket. Do I got to bring a SWAT team, or is the animosity gone for anybody else besides her? He could just be a peace officer here. It's what he could do. How do you think it's going to go, though? 90 seconds left. How do you think it's going to go? What do you got? I'm just curious. What do you guys think is going to happen? I just want to know. Can you guys write in the comment section? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think? I think the cops are going to murder him. He's perfectly rational and reasonable. He's just wound up over this relationship ending. They could just leave him right there, right? They could just leave him. They could, right? They could just leave him.
Okay? So you understand that we have to do our jobs,
I understand that.
right?
But your job is not to arrest people. Your job is to protect people's rights. Take the woman with you and leave, and protect his right to life as you leave.
Okay? So I'm trying to handle this as peacefully as possible.
And I am too. I'm meeting you halfway. Am I not? I've not done mostly two of the requests you asked. You asked me to walk in the door, I said walk in the door. You step backwards, we said cool. You asked me to shut the door, I shut the door halfway. I'm meeting you halfway here. Quite literally halfway.
Okay.
Am I not?
But I'm explaining to you.
Yes.
That we have to do our jobs.
Mm-hmm. And I'm explaining what.
And I'm trying to make it not just safe for us, safe for you.
Mm-hmm. And I think I'm pretty
to do our jobs. Because I just told you, you did just admit
that I pushed you out the door. Yes.
Which
Who else has the same feeling in their stomach as Sydney? Who else feels the same thing she does?
is a domestic assault. Okay?
Yeah.
So we have to deal with that further.
Okay.
Okay? And I'd like to do it after you close the door.
Because you're going to try to put me in handcuffs.
Because you're going to try to put me in torture cuffs. That's why they're going to put him in torture cuffs. They're going to hurt him. They're going to arrest him. He's not going to know how to get out. Your phone has all the phone numbers in it. There's no way to get bailed out unless you have somebody you can call. He's losing his significant other tonight. They broke up. And now he's saying, you want me to get away from the door so you can put me in torture cuffs.
We have to deal with that further.
Okay.
Okay? And I'd like to do it after you close the door.
Because you're going to try to put me in handcuffs. Correct? Domestic assault?
Because I don't want
No. Am I correct?
this to escalate further.
Right.
You're the one escalating it. You have the victim of the assault. You called it assault. You have the victim. You could leave now and come back tomorrow.
So, technically, next steps, domestic assault, if I'm wrong, you put me in handcuffs, you take me to the down jail unit process. We need to do my fingerprints and do everything else. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yes. Okay, cool.
Okay? So turn around for me.
No, I'm not.
Put your hands behind your back.
No.
Step this way.
No.
He's in a mental state. You could just leave him here. This is the last 20 seconds of the video.
Okay, you're gonna get. Okay, you're gonna get.
We don't know because they blurred it if he had his hand on the firearm or not. But he walks out the door and just starts spraying. Shot the guy. How many times is that? Seven times. Shot him 7 times.
You're gonna get. You're gonna get.
And take a look. You don't even need someone outside the balcony because he's up 3 or 4 floors. See that? He's up. It goes back to policy, procedure, and protocol. It goes back to the policy, procedure, and protocol. That's what it goes back to. That's what it goes back to. Policy, procedure, and protocol. It's their policy that you have to be arrested if there's a domestic violence. They couldn't just leave. They couldn't leave and put someone outside the door. They couldn't just leave him. They had to kill him. They have to kill you. You have to die. So I want to show this, and I've got a, I'm going to, I already made a video on this. It hasn't come out yet. So I made a video on this. I'm going to show you guys the video. I'm going to show you I'm not going to show you all the phases of the video that I made already, but there's going to be parts of this that I have to block out. But there's two parts of this, and the reason why I'm showing this to you, there's two parts to this, two different reporters.
Are once again furious at its police department. After some people in one community are once again furious at its police department.
Are furious at the police department. So you see this guy, I got to cut it off.
Some people in one community are once again furious.
Okay, so you see the guy on his knees right here. He just jumps on his knees because he's used to being told to get on his knees.
At its police department. After
this cop running in right here. Do you guys see this over here? Just above the square. You see the guy? He's got his arm is kind of funny. Watch him real quick.
They are once again furious at its police department. After
he's coming running in, he's going to kick that guy right in the chest. So here's the other problem I'm dealing with right now. I can't show you guys anything. I can't show anything and make a living on YouTube. If I show, he runs up and kicks the guy in the chest and he falls over backwards. I can't show it. I'm not allowed to show you someone just getting kicked. If I show it to you, they'll age restrict my video, which they won't let it be. You can't hit the share button. If I share anything with you guys, it'll get deleted. They'll kill my video. If we cover up the violence with a blur or with a patch that says "See it on delete laws" on Twitter, they still will demonetize it and age restrict it. You figure when I get out of jail, it would, the revenue would come back up and the views would come. No, it's the opposite. It's been worse. It's been worse. That's why I can't show you this cop coming running in to kick this guy. He's right there. He's about to kick him. Let me see if I can do it.
For video.
Okay. So that was the whole kick right there. Do you see it? That was the whole kick.
For video.
That was the whole kick. Fuck it. Fuck it. Whatever.
Some people in one community are once again furious at its police department after video posted on social media shows an officer.
So that's the whole violence right there. YouTube will age restrict and demonetize my entire video over showing you this. The guy gets on his knees.
Some people in one community are once again furious at its police department after video posted on social media.
He ran in and kicked the guy on the left side of the chest. That's the whole violence. There's another guy on the ground over there. Look at how cops treat people in our country.
An officer kicking a suspect who appears to be complying. Investigator Kelly Kennedy explains what happened.
What's funny is, look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 cops around him. They got guns and tasers pointing at him. This guy on the right comes running in
and spoke with neighbors who witnessed this
and kicks him.
Incident.
Sadly, this isn't new in Canton. There's been a lot of mistrust between the community and police after several controversial use of force incidents just this year.
So she says it right there. You heard her intro here. Listen to what she says.
This isn't new in Canton.
Sadly, this isn't new in Canton, Ohio.
There's been a lot of mistrust between the community and police after several controversial use of force incidents just this year.
So this is a mainstream state-run media reporter. And she's saying there's a lot of distrust for the community. She's not saying the cops are assaulting, beating, and killing people. And then listen to the intro.
Some people in one community are once again furious at its police department.
Some people in one community are once again furious. That's one way to put it. That's one way to put it.
Between the community and police after several controversial use of force incidents just this year. As you can see in the video, 21-year-old Jamir McElroy was on his knees with his hands up when
Jamir McElroy. Jamir, Jamir, I think, McElroy.
police arrived. Suddenly, he's kicked to the ground by an officer.
I don't understand why the cop ran up and kicked him in his face, but it was uncalled for.
Police say several people ran and officers chased some of them. They say one suspect was carrying a gun and the chase was called off. Police say officers ordered the suspects to the ground and they appeared to comply. Police say one officer kicked a 21-year-old.
I mean, that's the Jameer McElroy. This is the sad part to me. And take a good look at it. Take a good look at it, okay? Jameer, take a good look at this. Here's the sad part is that the police in the people in our country have been so programmed by this police state that watch what happens, and it happens within seconds and nobody has to say anything.
Hey, officers ordered the
So the cop goes rolling up there, right? And there's people here. Watch what they do. Watch the people.
Suspects to the ground and they appeared to comply. Police say
the guy drops down on his knees. He's living on his knees. You Canton pigs. You. And the horse you rode in on. Really. This is the programming. This is the conditioning that when the cops come around, you get on your knees. You have to get on your knees so they feel safe. It's Terry versus Ohio. Remember, they're being detained. There's no probable cause. This is a Terry stop. You're seeing a Terry stop happen right here. That's what you're seeing happen.
One officer kicked a 21-year-old in the chest.
Yeah,
Kimberly Bell also lives in the...
Well, he kicked Jameer. The guy's got a name. Didn't kick a 21-year-old subject in the chest. He kicked a guy named Jameer McElroy.
Complex. She didn't see it happen, but said she saw the young men in the parking lot an hour earlier.
It's an old saying, never kick a man while he's down. And that's literally what this man did.
McElroy was charged with resisting arrest and obstructing official business. McElroy's attorney...
Did you hear what she just said? McElroy was charged with resisting arrest.
Charged with resisting arrest and obstructing official business.
Resisting arrest and obstructing official business. You see the cop pull up right here.
One suspect was carrying...
He's pulling up. In which way is there obstruction or resisting as he gets on his knees and puts his hands in the air?
A gun, and the chase was called off. Police say officers ordered the suspects to the ground and they appeared to comply. Police say one officer...
He applied in 2 seconds flat.
Kicked a 21-year-old in the chest.
And listen to the state-run media. Listen to the lies.
Officers ordered the suspects...
So no, here's the lie. That what they did is because it's so dangerous, somebody has a firearm. Listen.
One suspect was carrying a gun and the...
So they're saying one suspect was carrying a gun. So that justifies what we do during a Terry stop here.
Several people ran and officers chased some of them. They say one suspect was carrying a gun.
Well, where is that suspect? Where is that gun? No, that justifies what you're seeing here.
Chase was called off.
The chase was called off, so they didn't get the guy with the gun.
Police say officers ordered the suspects to the ground.
Ordered the suspects? How are they suspects? In which way are they suspects? None of these guys had a gun on them. Your whole news report is about how this is all happening because there's a suspect with a gun. But this guy got on his knees in 2 seconds flat on his knees. And now you're telling me that they're suspects? If they were suspects, they would have had some sort of stolen goods, a firearm. Someone would be accusing them of assault. They're not at all suspects. They're not suspects at all. They're just making it up.
They appeared to comply.
They appeared to comply? You state-run media whore. They didn't appear to comply. They completely complied and got on their knees.
Say officers ordered the suspects to the ground and they appeared to comply. Police say one officer kicked a 21-year-old in the chest. Kimberly Bell also lives in the complex. She didn't see it happen. Statement, which literally was charged with resisting arrest.
And after he got on his knees, he was charged with resisting arrest and obstructing.
And obstructing official business. McElroy's attorney sent us a statement, which reads in part, "It should not be lost on anyone that after officers attacked him and hospitalized him, they issued charges which find..."
Bobby DiCello That's the name of the attorney.
No support in the video.
It should not be lost on anyone that after officers attacked him and hospitalized him, they issued charges which find no support in the video. He got on his knees.
Tension between the community and the police has been growing since Frank Tyson died in police custody in April. The coroner's office ruled his death.
So Frank Tyson, you'll see this on the video I have coming out. He was saying, bring the sheriffs to arrest me because Canton police are trying to kill me. That's so they don't play the volume here. But what Frank Tyson is saying during this video is, you guys are trying to kill me. Bring the sheriff's department. I'm not going to go with you.
Death a homicide. The two officers involved are on paid administrative leave. Another officer
He died.
was fired after a video went viral in May of a police dog attacking a man who was
the dog attack. Remember this? They attacked a guy on his front porch for looking at the dog, and they said, "Don't be looking at our dog that way."
We want to see the officer involved in this case held accountable.
He should be, just like anybody else.
Canton police arrested 3 people, including this 21-year-old.
Why don't you call him Jameer? His name is Jameer.
Canton police say the actions of this officer are currently under review.
Now, right, so that right there, him putting a leg out, the guy doesn't get kicked very hard. He puts one arm up to kind of defend the kick. And that's the whole weak-ass kick this beta male pig did. That's the whole thing right there. And then he comes down on the guy with a knee. He had him completely subdued. The other cop had him.
Officer are currently under review.
Look what happens. This guy's got a taser on the kid for no reason. He jumped on his knees. Then he goes to put the taser away. He's bending his arm. He's stepping in to grab the kid. And then, instead of following through, he then drops a knee on the guy. What? Why are you putting a knee on the guy? Wow. And there's the whole kick. So YouTube can demonetize and age restrict my video.
A young pregnant woman's death was ruled a suicide. A former police officer is now charged with killing her.
Federal prosecutors say former Stoughton police officer Matthew Farwell killed that 23-year-old young woman in.
What did you say? Stoughton police?
Police officer Matthew Farwell killed. Prosecutors say former Stoughton police officer.
The officer is now charged with killing her.
Federal prosecutors say former Stoughton police officer.
Former Stoughton police officer?
Officer Matthew Farwell killed that 23-year-old young woman in an attempt to cover up what they say was years of sexual abuse that started when she was just a teen in a youth police program.
When it became clear to Mr. Farwell that he could no longer control Sandra Birchmore, he allegedly silenced her permanently.
These are the moments the FBI SWAT team took 38-year-old former Stoughton police officer Matthew Farwell into custody this morning. He's facing one federal charge: murder of a victim or witness.
Matthew Farwell's gun and badge did not grant him authority to violate the Constitution. And it certainly didn't entitle him to sexually exploit, abuse, and rape a child before killing her and her unborn baby in an attempt to cover up his alleged crimes.
15-year-old girl sexually assaulted by the police in Stoughton. So let me give you guys a little bit of a backstory here, okay? Let me give you a little bit of a backstory. Here is where the Stoughton Police Department is, okay? That's where it is right there. Well, I went to Boston, Massachusetts, to Stoughton, right there. I went there. I was there. On Memorial Day or 4th of July or whichever, I think it was the 4th of July in Massachusetts, in Boston, when I went to this exact area. And there were kids outside, and instead of doing a American parade, they changed it. I think it was Memorial Day. And Memorial Day, because Labor Day is in September. So then I went around that back the blue parade instead of a Memorial Day parade. And I was telling the kids there that were 12, 13, 10, 11, 12, 13, I was saying, don't trust the police. They'll groom you and grape you. That's what I told the kids there. I wasn't very popular for saying it in Stoughton, Massachusetts. I wasn't popular. People were very mad at me for saying that the cops will groom you and RAPE you. And that's what I was saying. And now they're saying that in Stoughton that this cop did indeed grape, groom, impregnate, and then murder. So if he started, can I just say how if he started statutorily graping her when she was 15 years old, that grooming started when she was 13, 14, maybe 12 years old. And boy, they were so mad at me. They were so mad at me in Boston, Massachusetts, and said how I was this bad guy and I was telling the kids things that were so ridiculous, that were so far out there. And now we see just a very short time later that while I was there was a cop who had groomed and was sleeping with a kid. A kid.
Federal investigators say Farwell met Sandra Birchmore when she was a child at the Stoughton Police Explorer Academy.
Remember, I often laugh when I'm uncomfortable, but this is, I told the Stoughton police that they had a bunch of child predators on the police department.
Federal investigators say Farwell met Sandra Birchmore when she was a child.
So just so you know, I turned 50 this next month. And when I look at a little girl like that, who's 13, 14 years old, they look like a child to me. In LA, where I've lived in LA for 25 years, there are young women who are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, who come to LA and are literally like print model, gorgeous, crazy looking. I mean, you think to yourself, man, I feel bad for even looking at her that way. She's 17 years old. Those are the prettiest fish in the smallest pond all over America. She's a beautiful kid. She's a beautiful person. She's not coming straight off the pages of Fashion Nova at 17. Does anybody know what Fashion Nova is? You guys ever heard of that particular clothing brand? They hire a bunch of 17, 18, 19-year-old girls that look like full-on woman, but she doesn't look anything like a full-on woman. She doesn't look anything like, I look at her. I want to ask her, do you want to get an ice cream cone? You want to get an ice cream cone? Come on, I'll get your friends. I'll bring you, I'll buy you guys ice cream cones. You don't look at her and think, man, call Fashion Nova. She's the next 15, 16-year-old superstar. In other words, you got to be one sick child predator to hunt down a girl who looks like that. She's not some beauty queen who came to LA and is a runway model, got shimmies and shakes she shouldn't have at 17 or 18. She looks like a freaking kid. She looks like a kid that you would say, oh, you skinned your knee? Well, get her some hydrogen peroxide. Let's get her knee cleaned up. She looks like a child. She looks like a little tiny kid. My God, looks like one of my niece or nephews, like schoolmate play friends. And where did he meet her at?
She was a child at the Stoughton Police Explorer Academy.
Hey, all you people in Boston that when I was there in May of 2022, go yourself. Go yourself. I told you cops were grooming kids and graping them. I told you what was happening in Stoughton, Massachusetts. I said it out loud. I got so much hatred coming from the parents. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Because it's true. Number one, you got to be a real beta male loser to sign up to these policies, procedures, and protocols. You got to want that $20,000 signing bonus. You need to get your income taxes where you don't got to pay income taxes. They'll do anything to get someone to sign up to be a cop today. Anybody who's willing to sign up, they'll take you. That's a fact. Put a one in the chat if that's a fact. Anybody here, they'll take anybody here. If you don't have a felony criminal record, if you don't have a history of chemical abuse where you're selling chemicals, they'll take anybody in 2 seconds flat. I told you, motherfuckers in Stoughton, Massachusetts, that the cops were predators. They would grape your children and they would ruin them. I told you. I came there. I warned you. You guys all shouted me down and said what a piece of shit I was. Garbage. Absolute garbage.
A young pregnant woman's death was ruled a suicide.
This morning, he's facing one federal charge.
That he could no longer control Sandra Birchmore. He allegedly silenced her permanently.
These are the moments the FBI SWAT team took 38-year-old former Stoughton police officer Matthew Farwell into custody this morning. He's facing one federal charge, murder of a victim or witness.
But see, if this guy showed up at your house, everybody around, I mean, take a look at him, everybody. Take a look at him. If this guy showed up at your house, everybody would say that you could trust him, that he's a good guy. Everybody would be, I mean, right? Am I wrong here? If this guy showed up on a call, you would be expected just to trust him and that he's going to be the good force in life, that this is the good guy. But it's funny, every day when I come on here, I don't really have to look for content. There's so much content. All I have to do is go to Facebook or Reddit or Instagram or TikTok. There's never an ending of content. I could sit here and talk with you guys for the rest of the night and show you video after video after video after video where cops are graping kids, killing, murdering, intolerant. No, you got to come with us right now. And if you don't, well, we're going to charge you with domestic. And if you don't come with us, we're going to kill you. Take a look at him. He would be trusted. And when I came to Stoughton, they were all mad that I said the cops are scum.
Yes.
Matthew Farwell's gun and badge did not grant him authority to violate the Constitution. And it certainly didn't entitle him to sexually exploit, abuse, and rape a child before killing her and her unborn baby in an attempt to cover up his alleged crimes.
Federal investigators say Farwell met Sandra Birchmore when she was a child at the Stoughton Police Explorer Academy, a youth program for young people interested in law enforcement.
He befriended Sandra Birchmore, contacted her online, went to the library with her, became friends on Facebook, essentially groomed her. And then he committed statutory rape.
What was the age, though, when she joined the Stoughton Police Department Explorers Program? And let this be a message. Let this be a message. I want you guys to find a bootlicker and share this little part of the video. You sure you want your kid? I'll tell you what. I'll give you a choice. I'll give you... Okay. I'll give you a choice, okay? There's 3 camps you can send your kid to. The first one is a Catholic Bible camp. You can send your kid to a Catholic Bible camp. Number 2, you could send your kid to the Explorer program of your local police agency. Or number 3, you could give them a skateboard and just let them go right around town. What are you going to do? I would rather give my kid a skateboard, have them go roll around town at 12 or 13 years old, than send them to a Catholic Bible camp or to an Explorer program. Sorry, I'm not sending my kids to the priests. That's not going to happen. There's a long history there. I'm not sending my kid to any Explorer program because this is not a one-off. There's dozens and hundreds of cases where cops have groomed, molested, graped kids. In Ironton, Ohio, I found 3 girls that Jonathan Spuljarek, ex-cop, pedophile. I found 3 women. Jonathan Spuljarek, do me a favor and sue me so that I can expose who those 3 girls are when we go to court. Because they need to be helped and they're too afraid. 3 young girls that Jonathan Spuljarek groomed and sexually assaulted when they were underage. You, Spuljarek, piece of... I'm going to pop.
By having sex with her when he was a 27-year-old, statutory rape. By having sex with her when he was a 27-year-old, police officer, and she was just 15 years old.
Federal prosecutors.
How many years did he groom her? I mean, she looks like a child, dude. She looks like a child.
Say for 8 years, Farwell continued to have sex with Birchmore until she got pregnant at 23 years old with a child they say is his. Fearing she would tell people about the years of sexual abuse, investigators say Farwell strangled the young woman, staging her death to look like a suicide.
He allegedly attempted to cover his tracks to literally try and get away with murder, and he almost did until today.
Now, Farwell pleaded not guilty in court today. If convicted, he would face life in prison or even death.
1 second. I want to show you guys this. Because this is a really popular brand in Los Angeles. And I'm just going to show it to you because, you know, there's young girls from all over the country who look at Fashion Nova. This is Fashion Nova. That's the Fashion Nova is the account. And what happens is you get young girls from all over the country. I mean, it's got 21 million subscribers, Fashion Nova does. But just so you know, a lot of the young girls on Fashion Novas are 17, 18. There's another one. There's another one. I'll remember the name of it by the time this broadcast is over. But when you take a look at it, a lot of these girls, you know, she's probably, you know, I don't know how old she is, but that's what they look like. And for a guy to make for a guy to walk himself into prison, you know, you got to check ID, bro. But a lot of the women in LA who are these supermodels, they look like the 29-year-old chick. I mean, they have all the assets of a 29-year-old chick. She doesn't. She looks like a very young kid that he has groomed. And how old was she when the grooming started? I think that this picture here of her, boy, that's the Explorer program picture. Like, dude, that is literally a freaking child. That is a child. I cannot believe that this cop, and the worst part for me is that there in Stoughton, I was there. Listen, I'm not sure if you guys know this or not. I was in Stoughton, Massachusetts, Memorial Day 2022, went to a Back the Blue parade, walked up and down the streets, and I told the crowd that these cops are groomers and they will grape your children. There it is. Do I wish I was right? No, I don't. I wish I was wrong. I wish I sounded like a fool, and that's so foolish. That's so foolish for me to think that.
Oh my gosh.
That's it right there. That's it. That's as far as we can go on this one, folks. That's as far as we can go on this one. I'll tell you what, let me open it up real quick and let me just take a listen here.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my gosh! God damn it!
And that's it. That's all I can show you. And then after that,
Oh my God! Oh my God!
obviously I can't show any of this, but the dog ran back from where the cop shot him. The dog ran back over here He spazzed for maybe 10 seconds. You heard the kids. These two boys are both crying and screaming and crying. Your local police department's hiring right now. The policy of 99.9% of all police departments in America is that if a dog barks at you and you're scared, that you can shoot and kill the dog. But sign up to be a cop. Everybody right now, you can sign up to be a cop right now. They need people right now. The cops need people because they can't get anybody to sign up to be a cop. There's your policy, procedure, and protocol right there. You just saw it. The policy, procedure, and protocol is that if you're scared, then you can go ahead and you can kill that dog if you want to. If you want to kill the dog, you can. All you have to do is say that you're scared. That's it. That's all it requires. Just say you're scared, and you can kill any dog you want. I'm really trying. Can you guys see I'm trying? Let me know. Can you guys see that I'm trying? I'm trying not to call them dirty fucking pigs. I'm trying not to call them monsters, evil demons. I'm doing the best I can to not say that they're fucking scumbag losers, that the guy would be better off. He's burning in hell. I'm trying not to say things like that.
Denied bond for the former Okaloosa County. A judge today denied bond for the former Okaloosa County deputy charged with killing senior airman Roger Fortson. It was Eddie Duran's first appearance in court on charges of manslaughter with a firearm.
Fortson was shot and killed inside his Fort Walton Beach.
Remember, Okaloosa, that's the same place where the Acorn cop was. Remember that.
Department in May. Today, Duran's attorney asked the judge to release him on bond.
We've had this thing hanging over us since May. Everybody knows that he's, frankly, the sheriff's office released a tape of what was going on within a few days. Your Honor's undoubtedly aware of some of the background of this case. We believe that he's no risk, no flight risk. He's going to show up Thursday. He's going to show up anytime. He need not spend the time in the jail for the next few days, especially when they've indicated because of special concerns, they might remove him now over to Escambia County. I don't want to do that and then have to do it. I recommend that he be released now.
Got to get that copper out of jail. You got to get the copper out of jail. He deserves to be released now.
Frankly, the sheriff's office released a
inside his Fort Walton Beach apartment in May. Today, Duran's attorney asked the judge.
No, remember, he's being charged with killing senior airman Roger Fortson. He's being charged with killing somebody.
To release him on bond.
We've had this thing hanging over us since May.
We've had this hanging. Well, but what about Roger Fortson? He's dead. You've had what hanging over you since May?
Frankly, the sheriff's office released a tape of what was going on within a few days. Your Honor's undoubtedly aware of some of the background of this case. We believe that he's no risk, no flight risk. He's going to show up Thursday. He's going to show up anytime. He need not spend the time in the jail for the next few days, especially when they've indicated because of special concerns, they might remove him now over to Escambia County. I don't want to do that and then have to do it. I recommend that he be released now.
According to a new Florida statute, lower court judges cannot decrease bond, only increase it. Now, since a charge of manslaughter with a firearm is a first-degree felony, Eddie Duran was given no bond. He will be held without bond until his pretrial detention hearing, which is Thursday. If convicted, Duran could face up to 30 years in prison.
Duran's attorney is Rod Smith, and he told the judge he represents the Deputy Sheriff's Association of Florida and will be providing defense with a local attorney. His career includes Duran's attorney is Rod Smith, and
Rod Smith, cop sucker extraordinaire,
told the judge he represents the Deputy Sheriff's Association of Florida and will be providing defense with a local attorney. His career includes the prosecution of Gainesville serial killer Danny Rawling in the 1990s. Smith was later elected to the Florida Senate and unsuccessfully ran for governor in 2006.
Howdy, sir.
So this is the body cam where the cop kills the guy. Where he kills, we're at 136. This is where he kills. Let me see where the guy's name is.
With killing senior airman Roger Fortson.
Roger Fortson. This is where he kills Roger Fortson right here.
Howdy, sir.
They muted it.
What's going on? I'm not sure. I just was told to let her know if you guys come by. Okay. So I'm going to give her a quick call and let you guys know. Let her know.
So there was a fight going on or something?
I was not present for that.
Okay. Are they fighting or something?
I'm saying that it happens frequently.
Okay.
But this time it sounded like it was getting out of hand.
Okay, which door?
So I'm not sure. 2 weeks ago, I was walking by their apartment, basically on this side, and I was hearing someone yell like "shut the up," like you stupid B word and all this other stuff, and I heard slap like right after it, but I wasn't sure where it came from, and I couldn't call. Like I didn't want to call the police. And, you know,
Which room is it?
1401.
1401, okay.
1401. But the girl sounded scared. The one that called. She was like, "It's getting out of. It sounds like it's getting really out of hand."
So it's hit number 4, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. We stand out there and direct the deputy that's coming to this area?
It's not. You're gonna go to the fourth floor, and it's gonna be on this side.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm really, you're gonna see this guy kill him right here. It's sad, but Clown Patrol said it. I'm so sick of the censorship. It's the government. It's our government. It's the United States government that's doing this. They tell Google, they tell Facebook, they tell Instagram, don't let them show cops and government officials hurting, killing, and raping people. It's our government. It's the United States of YouTube. It's the United States of Facebook. It's not the United States of America. The government is running YouTube. The government is telling YouTube, you need to censor that. You need to censor that. You need to censor that. I'm so sick of it. I can't even make a short, cover the short with blur everywhere. They demonetize it. They age restrict it. So I can't get any traction. And they've done that consistently to all my videos since I've been out of jail.
Sheriff's office, open the door.
I'll definitely check that out. The latest Tucker Carlson, because I'm not sure if you guys know this, but I don't have a political party. I haven't voted for a Democrat or Republican since 2009, since Barack Obama. So I'll watch Tucker Carlson. I'll watch Rachel Maddow. I'll watch Bill O'Reilly. I'll watch Prager University. I'll watch, you name it. I'll watch anything. Left, right, center. I will watch and listen to anything that's going to teach me something.
Sheriff's office, open the door. Step out. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! He's over there. Drop the gun! Sheriff's office, open the door.
So this a-hole's beating on the guy's door.
Step out. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! He's over there. Drop the gun! 312, shots fired.
He dies. He killed him. He murdered him.
Suspect down. Do not move! 312, get EMS my location.
For having a gun in his hand, not pointing at anybody, put his hand out. He had a gun for self-protection. You're not allowed to have a gun for self-protection. If you have a gun for self-protection, they're just going to kill you. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing.
Officer has been a veteran Opelika police officer accused of tasing a fellow officer has been fired again.
Sergeant Sergio Perez had been terminated from the same department a few years ago. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor.
I'm so sorry to restart this, but listen.
A police officer accused of tasing a fellow officer.
What she says right here is just so, what I just said a minute ago, your local police department is hiring. Let's check it out.
Officer has been fired again.
Sergeant Sergio Perez had been terminated from the same department a few years ago.
He'd been fired from the same department that rehired him because nobody will sign up to these policies. So let me help you cops, who I have absolutely no respect for. I'm going to try to help you beta male chump losers who can't figure out what to do with your life. Nobody will sign up to be a cop because the policies, procedures, and protocols that you have agreed to do to people. That's why. No good person. Put a 1 in the chat if you would never sign up to be a cop with these policies, procedures, and protocols. There's almost 600 people here. Put a 1 in the chat if you would never sign up to do these policies, procedures, and protocols to people. So I just want to see how many people. The reason why this pig shack had to hire this pig back again after they already fired the pig is because of the policies, procedures, and protocols that no good person will sign up to do. Won't do it. No good person will sign up to do that bullshit to people. Nobody. I'm a good person. You couldn't get me to, there's a domestic here. You pushed her, so now you got to come with me. And if you don't, I'm going to kill you. That's a policy. You at the police department, you guys have created your own policies. You're answerable to nobody. You're sovereign citizens, and that's the whole point. Ripple effect. I've seen your videos. I've covered your videos. Hopefully, you got the TRIFOLD and cop cards I sent off to you. But you can't get a good person to sign up to do this stuff to people. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't. You can't do it. You can't get a good person to sign up to do these things to people.
CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor is live from Ovalaka with the officer's reaction.
I accepted the recommendation of Chief Otley to terminate Mr. Sergio Perez.
Opa-locka City Manager confirmed Wednesday morning Sergeant Sergio Perez was released from any position that he held with this department.
He looks like such a good guy. If he showed up to your house, everybody would expect you to respect him and treat him good. Look at that ridiculous hat he's wearing in an American civilized society. You're supposed to respect him because he's wearing a badge. Just a load of shit.
For almost 3 years.
His actions endangered his fellow officers and injured one of them.
According to Opa-locka Police, in September 2021, then Captain Perez walked into the police department and tased Sergeant Michael Steele. The police department initiated an internal investigation, and according to a report, Steele repeatedly told Perez that he did not want to be tased. The department's investigation was paused when Perez was criminally charged for his actions, but resumed once the case was dropped in January of this year.
Our investigation found 7 policy violations when he inappropriately discharged his taser inside the police department, causing injury to a fellow officer.
Oh, he hurt one of their own. So now they got to get rid of him for the second time. What was he fired for the first time?
Chief of Police and City Manager both stated they were not in their position when Perez was suspended, but they talked to him before reaching a decision. According to our news partners in the Herald, Perez has worked with the Opa-locka Police Department since 2007. We reached out to Sergeant Perez. He responded via text messages claiming, just last week I reported criminal conduct to include missing evidence to the internal affairs captain. Unfortunately, the police chief and city manager have turned their blind eye to the corruption that I have reported. The former HD director, city manager, and
he's turning in the corruption of the police department. You would need, if you were going to turn in the corruption of the police department, you would need a wheelbarrow that's the size of Manhattan. And you would need Atlas, the god, to run the wheelbarrow to get rid of all the bad cops there are. There's so, I mean, am I wrong here? What percentage of cops are just horribly bad? What percentage? Because, I mean, once in a while we do meet a copper who puts the cuffs on a little looser, puts them in the front. What percentage of cops are just absolutely horrible? What percentage are just like this guy? You know, I mean, I'm going to go with my percentage. I'm going to go with I did 82%. That's 4 out of 5 cops are trash. Like jail guards. I went with 80% are trash because I was just in the dungeon. I would say 80%, 90%. Yo, it's high. Yeah, it's high. 99%, 100%, says Casey. 90 plus, 99%, 66%. That's the lowest percentage yet. Ripple Effect says 100% are just absolute trash. I love this one. Bill Streets said 90.7%. He's got it down to a science. I love that. 99.9, 99.98. Oh, Steve. Hold on. I'm gonna play a couple more seconds of this, and I'm gonna talk to Steve. 1 second.
And then police chief testified that I was demoted for this event, but as to the corruption that I have reported. The former HD director, city manager, and then police chief testified that I was demoted for this event. But as a measure of retaliation, I am being disciplined again as they are doing everything to avoid exposure and facing the music.
And obviously these things are triggered every single time incidents has happened with our police. It's part of the collective bargaining agreement.
So basically,
things are triggered every single time incidents has happened with our police. It's part of the collective bargaining agreement.
The collective bargaining agreement is trash.
So basically what the city manager as well as the chief of police stated is that they're not surprised that Mr. Perez is alleging retaliation. Nevertheless, they stand firm in their decision of releasing him from a position here. Now, Sergeant Perez told us that by the end of this week, he's planning a press conference with his attorney where he would present his side of the story. We understand that a civil lawsuit may be filed against this city. We are live in Opa-locka. Ivan Taylor, CBS News.
Of course. They tased a guy as he was a copper. Steve, finally, got your hoodie? Got your hoodie right here. I'm putting these 4 trifolds in with your hoodie, Steve. I'm going to put these in. You'll have a tracking number tomorrow. And also to Shanta. I have a storage unit in Los Angeles, and I finally got to that storage unit. I've been like stalling for so long, but I finally got to the storage unit and I got all the hoodies. So this is Shanta's hoodies. This is Shanta's hoodie. We don't stop. I'm going to send this to you tomorrow, Shanta. And I'm also going to put 4 trifolds in your hoodie tomorrow. Each of you will get 4 trifolds with your hoodie tomorrow. Cannot wait. Cannot wait to ship these off to you guys tomorrow. I'm still doing 2 for 1 on trifolds. If you guys want a trifold, I'm doing 2 for 1 right now. So if you go to deletelaws.com with a Z, go to deletelaws.com with a Z. I'm doing 2 for 1 on trifolds. You get 2. You also get 2 broccoli wad rubber bands. So Steve, I'm finally going to ship this damn hoodie to you. It's only been like 3 weeks, but I didn't have it. And that is my personal hoodie that I left in my storage unit. I'm literally giving Steve my own personal hoodie, which is going to force me then to get more. I don't know what that is. Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's going to happen tomorrow, Steve. What's going on with the Playboy? What's up, Playboy? What is up, Playboy? So this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. You're not ready for this. This is going to rock you. But you know what? That's, if we sit here and we watch police videos, it's just a matter of time before you really, yeah, I've got it. Danelle, I definitely have whatever this summer cold is. Anybody else have it? 2-for-1 Desert Eagles. Let me know. No, listen, everybody should have a TRIFOLD in their car. It's my mission to get one in every car. What Rebel? I shout you out all the time, bro. I'm sorry. I haven't seen you lately. I'm so sorry. I got a bunch of emails from you. I tried to read them all. I couldn't read them all. There was too many. So sorry, man. Sorry, Rebel. Love you, bro. Nothing but love for you, man. I will stop the whole show because I don't want, it's like Scrubzilla. I love Scrubzilla. I haven't said your name in a while, Scrubzilla. Kiwi, what's going on? Yeah, what is going on? So this is a pretty brutal one. Another brutal one.
24/7 stuck in traffic at 160th and Canyon. Try to get him out. 24/7 stuck in traffic at 160th and Canyon. Try to get him out.
Oh no.
City of Bugle stuck in traffic, 160th and Canyon.
Get out the car! You just ran over my foot. Get out of the car!
Well, take a look at the way the cop came up. He was chasing someone who got stuck in traffic that hadn't rammed anybody else, hadn't assaulted anybody else. The guy was stuck in traffic.
Get out the car!
Oh, wow. I wonder why the guy lost his cool and punched it.
Try to get him out. 24/7 stuck in traffic at 160th and Canyon. Try to get him out.
City of Bugle stuck in traffic, 160th and Canyon.
Get out the car! You just ran over my foot. Get out of the car! Stop! Stop! Stop!
He just ran another vehicle. He's going to behind him.
Pride parking lot.
Pulled into the Pacific Pride parking lot, 1045.
Whoever's behind me, stop calling him.
Raise enforce number 2. All calls, we're going through the business district. Pop back out on 160 and
He's going to head towards 160 and try to get sticks out.
376 has eastbound on 160 and 62nd Avenue, sticks out. We're heading northbound at 1 right now.
That says deputy deploys spike strips. I'm sorry, I couldn't read it. My deputy deploys stop sticks in front of the stolen vehicle. So this is over property and money, a stolen car, and they're willing to drive through people's neighborhoods and kill anybody just so they can get their guy.
Southbound 62nd. Positive contact with the stick. Positive contact with the stick.
getting on a motorcycle.
What do you think the cop's going to do? What do you think he's going to do? What do you think the cop's going to do? He's been chasing the guy around with a siren blazing, and they're acting like a bunch of psychos. The stolen car has now been recovered. But they got to get you. They got to get you. But not only that, let me just show you something. Okay, so take a look at something real important here. Do you see that house right there? And do you see the house right there? Do you see those two houses? Bullets go through people, through fences, through walls, into houses. Yeah, that's what happens with bullets.
Let me see your hands.
Your local police department is hiring. You just got to be a psychopath killer. If you're willing to never let anything go, if you're willing to shoot people, electrocute people, tase people, hurt people, beat people, chain people, torture people, take people down to a dungeon, sign up now at your local police department. The policies, procedures, and protocols are the same for every different department all over the country. They're all a little bit different, but pretty much they're the same, that you can't get away. Now, let me show you something. Let me show you something here. Let me show you something, all right? Ready for this? Let me show you something. This is big. This is big. You're going to have to play make-believe with me a little bit here because I don't have it ready to go yet. But ready for this? I want to show you something here. Stop! Stop. Right there. Just see, he's about to smash the window. Okay. Ready for this idea? Here it is. Here it is. For all the police departments around America, okay, you could put a tracking device on a rubber band and put it right over that guy's mirror. Oh, yeah. You could put a tracking device on a magnet, put it right on the guy's car. Whoa. Yeah. Could you imagine that? You could put a tracking device on this guy's car, not smash their window, not escalate things, not shoot people in the back as they're riding away on a motorcycle. You could put a tracking device on this guy's car and end the police chase. I'm acting coy here because isn't that an amazing idea? In today's day and age, you could put an Apple AirTag tracking device on a locking mechanism that goes around that mirror right there. You could take another piece, whatever piece you want to do. You could take a piece like this and stick it right underneath the wheel well where this little thing is a tracking device and it tracks where the car goes. Could you imagine that? No. You could put a tracking device on cars. You don't got to smash their windows out and try to kill them. That's right. That's right. No way, dude. No way. You could track a car and then end the police chase? Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, the cops, they got a job to do. They got to get you. They got to get you now. You mean you don't have to be arrested right now? Yes. No. Yes. You don't need to be arrested now. You don't need to be Jaime, I see you about the 9th Amendment. I'm well versed on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You could end the police chase by putting a tracking device on the car and walking away. But Chili, if you put a tracking device on a car and you stick it on a car and then the car drives away, then the car's going to get away because there's no one chasing it. Imagine this. A drone follows the tracking device. Oh, no! A drone follows that tracking device. Nuh-uh. Yeah. A drone follows the tracking device. You don't got to smash windows out. You don't got to shoot people. You don't got to chase people 100 miles an hour. That definitely escalated things, didn't it?
Get out the car!
And this disgusting fucking pig just figures that he's right. He gets to do this because he's a cop and he's right. He just gets to run up and smash your windows out. It's just it's just stupidity. Listen, I'm not trying to just make money from the state. But you could put a tracking device that's metal and magnet, put it right on the side of the guy's car. The guy won't ever see it. He'll never even know it's there. You could stick that magnet right to the side of the car. You could have several cops carrying magnets that they stick the magnets on the car, and you could track the car. What? You could track a car? Like, I can't be any more of a goofy ham, ridiculous fool than I'm being now. I'm trying to be as ridiculously stupid as possible because you don't need to smash people's windows out and then shoot them. So what does he do first? First, he smashes the window.
He just ran over my foot.
Okay, so he's been injured now. So now he's angry. Get out of the car. The other guy's not shooting. He's not shooting. You see this other guy right here? He's not firing. He's not shooting a gun at anybody. You see, this guy got his foot ran over. The guy who's going to murder the guy. The cop who's going to murder that man. He's ready to kill him because he got his foot ran over. This guy's got a gun pointed over here, but he's not shooting because there's a house right there. You don't want to take the chance of shooting a bad guy. We all want him to be the bad guy, but instead the cop is now the bad guy. Look, he looks over. He's nice and calm. He knows the guy's getting away on a motorcycle. They got the stolen car recovered. This other guy never even brings his pistol up. Take a look at the other copper. He's not shooting. Why is that? Because there's no need to shoot the guy. He's running away on a motorcycle.
Let me see your hands.
You killed him, bro. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me see your hands after I shot you 3 times in the back. But you're ready to just stand up and show me your hands. You get the TRIFOLD on deletelaws.com with a Z. When you get pulled over, you pull it down where I gave you this broccoli wad rubber band, and then you plead the Fifth Amendment immediately. You don't wait. And I'm doing 2 for 1 right now. You don't got to put a comment in or anything. I'm doing 2 for 1. If you order a TRIFOLD, I'm giving you 2. Now, if you want, I can give you the cop cards instead of an extra free TRIFOLD. I've been giving these away like hotcakes, but these are just like the TRIFOLD, but they're in like a driver's license form. Everybody here has to have a TRIFOLD. Put a 1 in the chat if you have a TRIFOLD or you have a cop card. How many people here have a TRIFOLD or a cop card? Oh, is that right? Dahar Master. So this case went to trial and the cop was acquitted of murder because he did murder the guy. He was mad. He got his foot ran over. Oh, you got him? Danelle's got her cop. Danelle, you got that? Cool. Jeff's got TRIFOLD. Lawyer Dog's got his TRIFOLD. No Body Cam has got a TRIFOLD. Anybody else got Mingo Wingo? I know you got a TRIFOLD because I sent it to you myself. So everybody here should have a TRIFOLD in your car. They're $25. I give you 2 for 1, so they're $12.50 a piece. There it is right there. Go to deletelaws.com. Get a frickin' TRIFOLD. Invoke your Fifth Amendment right, and the cop says, oh, well, is the address on your driver's license the same as it is currently? Use the address on my ID. Don't ask me where I'm coming from. Don't ask me where I'm going. Don't ask me where I've been. Everybody here has to have a TRIFOLD. You absolutely have got to have a TRIFOLD in your car. If you don't, you're at a disadvantage because the cops will then question you ask you this, ask you that. Then if you answer one question, but you don't answer another one, then all of a sudden you're being elusive or evading, or they were sure that you were cooperating, but now you're not cooperating anymore. You absolutely have got to have a trifold in your car. You have to have a trifold for your son, for your daughter, for your mother, for your best friend, for your brother. You have to have a trifold in your car. If you don't have a trifold in your car, then you're going to get stuck in this idea where you think you need to answer questions, and you absolutely don't. You invoke your Fifth Amendment right from the very beginning, and you never, ever, ever, ever deviate. You never deviate. I want to show you a video now that an attorney, oh, there's this guy that gets shot in the head. You guys got to see this one too. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't keep up. I cannot keep up. Let me see if my buddy is going to come on the line here. I got a special guest coming in. Hopefully he's going to come in. Let's see if he's available to come in. Let's see if he's there. Let's see. Let me just give him a call real fast, and we're going to watch this together. I want to show you guys this video. So this comes out of Honolulu, Hawaii. And what you're going to see is, here they are right there. Oh, got the Alan Hubbs video is finalized. What the flock? Alan Hubbs, your video is finalized, my friend. You're about to find out. Oh, okay, he's logged in.
Okay, that's absolutely
cool. So this is cool. Let me add you to the stage. Let me go like this. Let me go like that. Whoops, sorry about that. Here is the actual video here. There it is. Cool. Let me bring add Alan to the stage. Everybody, welcome Alan Beck, premier Second Amendment attorney, civil rights attorney. How you doing, Alan?
I'm well. Thank you for having me on, Chili.
Yeah, anytime. So can you give me a little breakdown on what we're going to see right here in this clip?
Well, I'll give you a little background. In the past couple of years, due to my litigation, the state of Hawaii has had to legalize a number of weapons that were traditionally illegal in Hawaii. And one of my clients, a good friend of mine, runs the Hawaii Firearms Coalition. And he was carrying a taser, and he was carrying a halberd. And
what's a halberd?
It's like a axe with a really long stick attached to it.
Okay.
And he's walking down the streets of Waikiki to bring awareness to the fact that laws have changed, and now these laws are legal to. It's now legal to carry these weapons. He was stopped by the police, who did not have any right to stop him because it is now legal to carry these weapons, and he was asked for identification. In the state of Hawaii, when you're a pedestrian, you do not need to show ID if you've been if you're not suspected of a crime. There's no grounds to arrest you. So he was exercising his right to not identify himself or give identification, which is absolutely his right under state law. And the police, they got extremely irate, as you're about to see, and said some things that just simply are not appropriate for a law enforcement officer to say, especially on the job.
Well, we're seeing that the cops are talking to us any way that they want to talk to us. They're saying anything they want. They can call us names, they can curse at us, they can threaten to kill us, blow our head off, and it seems to be all good. Is that what we're going to see here?
We're going to see, it's pretty unprofessional behavior. My client is an immigrant from England, and the police officer tells him to go back to where he came from, and that's not okay.
No. I mean, racism's not okay ever.
Absolutely not. I apologize, Chili. I needed to grab my charger. I didn't realize that my battery was low.
That's all right. Let's watch 30 seconds of this, and I'll bring you right back, Alan.
be fine.
There you go.
Oh, I will. Don't worry. I'll drop that report tonight. Yeah. Lying to me, telling me I got a... Did you really just fucking say that? Go back to where I came from. Go. Can I get your supervisor out here, please? Officer, can I get a supervisor, please?
You want to give us your name or what?
No. Don't worry, you're gonna work it out. Can I get a supervisor, please?
Yeah.
Don't make me call it.
Yeah.
I'll call in the dispatch and get a supervisor out here myself.
What you need?
Okay.
What you need a supervisor for?
I'm gonna call I'll call it myself. I don't care.
That's right.
So that's the end of the first one. And now let me pull up the other one here real quick so you guys can see what Alan's talking about here. I just got these uploaded. So now the second one here is 29 seconds. It's really, really short. So it's not like it's long. And you're going to get to see these cops, and the way they talk to us is just so...
All right, man. Now what y'all looks for a gun. We're gonna come hard. I mean,
Want to take a picture of my name and badge number? Actually, your name's supposed to be showing. You shouldn't have your phone in there like that.
Right there, my man.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to give you
No,
my name.
but your name should be showing.
It's showing.
No, it's not. That's incorrect uniform.
You can't see it. That's too bad.
It's incorrectly displayed.
What? You're supposed to show... This idea that we have secret police in this country has got to come to an end.
No, it's not. That's incorrect uniform.
You can't see it. That's too bad.
No, it's not too bad. It's because the police uniforms are meant to be like the Punisher instead of peace officers.
Displayed.
No,
Go ahead. Yeah? You're gonna walk away?
We're not worth my job.
You should have thought about that one about 10 minutes ago.
Not worth
You should have thought about that one.
Not worth his job. I'm not really sure exactly what he's talking about. Alan, tell me a little bit. So your client was walking down the street. What was he carrying exactly on him?
He was carrying a halberd, which is
halberd. H-A-L-B-E-R-T?
H-A-L-B-E-R-D. It's similar to what the Swiss guards, who guard the Vatican, have.
Mm-hmm.
And he was carrying a halberd, and he had a taser that was openly displayed, which is completely legal according to Hawaii law. And, I know that the things you cover are maybe a little bit more egregious than what you're seeing here. But the reality is Waikiki is a place where on any given night, you'll see people from literally dozens of countries visiting. And we simply can't have law enforcement in this country engaged in, patently using xenophobic language that is extremely hostile to our guests that are coming here from different countries. And, my client, he's an Englishman. And, what's going on in England right now.
Yeah.
Reality is there's an attack on free speech. And, the attacks over and one, to be honest, on the right to arms. And, because Andrew, my friend client, is from England, he's seen what's happened over there. And he's passionate about our constitutional rights. And he's trying his damnedest to make sure that what happened in England doesn't happen here. And, this is a very, bringing exposure to, this, what I thought was extremely abusive language, especially in the second video, where the police officer is essentially insinuating that he wants to assault him. And let's just be honest here. If that second police officer hadn't been there, especially if Andrew wasn't carrying a
camera,
I guarantee you that the result would have been a lot different. And how many people in Waikiki have been spoken to in this manner and treated in this manner that do not have body cameras on their person? Who knows? I mean, it could be hundreds. It could easily be thousands.
Yeah. Let's watch this again, Alan. I'm going to stop it in a second.
Hey, man. Now what y'all looks for a gun. We're gonna come hard. I mean,
Want to take a picture of my name?
So if you're going to have a gun, we're going to come hard. I thought that you were allowed to carry a gun.
Well, he's carrying a taser, and it's and that's his legal right. They're just calling it a gun. Law enforcement have tasers themselves. I mean, they know exactly what it is.
So they knew he was carrying a taser, but they said, "Oh, we thought you had a gun, so we're going to come hard." Why do they have to come hard? I thought that was only for pornos. Like, what are we talking about? I thought you guys were to protect the rights of Americans who did have a firearm if they were carrying one. Is it illegal to open carry in Hawaii?
It's 100% legal to open carry a taser. Okay. And the reality is, well, I can't speak for these officers. I don't know what's going through their mind, but this seems to be a pattern of intimidation on against Andrew, who who is trying to bring awareness to what the new laws are in Hawaii, and he's had to deal with some individuals, some of the law enforcement that are extremely hostile to that, and either A, these law enforcement officers aren't aware of the new laws, and that's a problem, or B, they know what the new laws are, and they're just simply trying to harass a law-abiding citizen that's trying to exercise both his Second Amendment right and his First Amendment right to political advocacy. And
it's funny, Alan, you said that you can't say what is going through the minds of these police officers, but we can. So in the comment section, tell me real quick, what do you think is going through the minds of these police officers? They were going to come hard. Remember that? They're going to come hard if they think you have a firearm, because even though you're not threatening anybody, you're not a homicidal killer. And if you have a firearm, then they're going to come hard. But what do you think they're thinking? What do you think these cops are? I mean, I think they're thinking they're trying to arrest you, trying to hurt you, trying to charge you. But go ahead. Sorry, Alan.
Well, I mean, but it's not a fundamental level. Imagine if you're here visiting from another country. Maybe you're an asylum seeker, and now you're having an official representative of the country that you are newly in. You thought you were safe, and you're being verbally harassed, being told that you need to go back to whatever war-torn country that you're seeking asylum from. I mean, this is simply unprofessional behavior. And, law enforcement need be held to a higher standard. They simply can't be, they can't use what's essentially a epithet, and insult a person based upon his national origin. I mean, that's simply un-American, and that's against what, how professional law enforcement standards are in this country. And what I'm hoping to get is to A, bring some exposure to this gentleman's conduct, and B, hopefully get an apology. Because let me tell you this. This happened last Friday. Last Friday, we were dealing with a fellow engaged in political advocacy that was walking down a street. That's as low stress of a situation as it's ever going to get for a law enforcement officer. That's just the reality.
That's why. Let me play this again, Alan.
Actually, your name's supposed to be showing. You shouldn't have your phone in there like that.
I'm not afraid to give you my name.
But your name should be showing.
It's showing.
No, it's not. That's incorrect uniform.
You can't see it. That's too bad.
It's incorrectly displayed.
No.
Oh, did you see this? Oh, watch this.
Yeah, that's too bad.
It's incorrectly displayed.
Alan and I both do jujitsu, so I don't underestimate someone who's small. But this little guy stepping up like he tells him his name tag is improperly displayed, and he steps up like he's gonna fight him. Watch this.
I'm not afraid to give you my name.
But your name should be showing.
It's showing.
No, it's not. That's incorrect uniform.
You can't see it. That's too bad.
It's incorrectly displayed.
Let me tell you something, is what he says. Alan, what are your thoughts?
Well, as I was saying, I mean, this is, at the end of the day, a very low stress situation. Here, he's dealing with someone simply walking down the street, very obviously engaged in political advocacy. He knows that Andrew isn't a threat, and yet he becomes irate enough that he was on the verge of assaulting Andrew.
Yeah.
Now, imagine how this gentleman's going to act in something a little bit more stressed, where there maybe is a legitimate threat of physical violence, or some actual uncertainty about the situation. And that's sort of, if in this low stress environment, he's not able to perform in a professional manner, how do you think he's going to act in a high stress environment? And,
yeah. Well, I mean, we just saw it. He was ready to fight him. He said that your name tag is improperly displayed.
Form.
You can't see it. That's too bad.
It's incorrectly displayed.
Let me tell you something, bro. Alan, you telling me my name tag's improperly? Let me just tell you something right now, Alan Beck. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, that's exactly my point is, we have to look, these are professionals. Law enforcement are professionals that have a job to do in this country, and they need to be held to a standard of professional conduct that is beyond what, this is not two guys at a bar. I mean, this is a man that's being paid with our tax dollars to, keep, to engage in, to police the streets. I mean, he's not being paid by our tax dollars to insult people based upon their country of origin. He's certainly not being paid to get so irate over a comment like that he literally needs another officer to restrain him, or else he appeared that he was on the verge of assaulting a person for doing nothing more than political advocacy.
Do we get his name? Can anybody hear his name? He says his name. We can call HPD. Let me see.
You want to take a picture of my name and badge?
All right, man. What y'all looks for a gun? We're gonna come hot.
You want to take a picture of my name and badge number?
Actually, your name's supposed to be showing. You shouldn't have your phone in there like that.
Right there, my man. Yeah. I'm not afraid to give you my name.
But your name
He never says his name.
should be showing.
It's showing.
No, it's not. That's incorrect uniform.
You can't see it. That's too bad.
It's incorrectly displayed.
So he lost his shit over being told that his name is being improperly displayed, and he's ready to fight the guy? Like, come on, what are we talking about here?
And that's exactly my point. Is I don't know what's going on with it in this man's life. I'm not saying that, but there certainly needs to be additional training where in this very low stress situation, he's literally insulting a person and, based upon their country of origin. I mean, literally insulting a person simply because he's an immigrant. I mean, this is a country, we are a country that is founded by immigrants, and immigration is part and parcel of the American tapestry. We cannot get a reputation as a country where people believe when they visit this country, or if they immigrate to this country, they're going to be discriminated against simply because they come from someplace else other than the United States. And that exactly, Jim Barclay, that's exactly right. This gentleman, Andrew, dared to question this gentleman, and he lost even the smallest semblance of professional standards. And what's it going to be when this person's had a little bit too much to drink? What's going to be when it's someone that's legitimately mouthing off? And
he looks like he drinks a little bit. He looks like he put some alcohol down. Go ahead, Alan. Sorry about that.
No, I mean, and again, Andrew, he was had a he had a body camera on. There were several police officers right next to this gentleman. What if this had happened, and this was in a well-lit, dense area of Waikiki? What if the same situation had happened when this officer was by himself and Andrew did not have a camera, and there weren't 100 witnesses around? I mean, I guarantee you that this situation would be dramatically different. And it's look, I'm not saying that this is the worst thing that we had on the show. I guarantee you cover things. While I was in the waiting room, you were covering something much worse than what happened. But because we know each other, I want to take the opportunity to at least put a little bit of exposure. Waikiki is Hawaii is where one of the places where I work. It's a place I have a lot of ties to, and I want to see a Hawaii, especially a Honolulu, where people from, especially from other countries, can come walk down the street and not have to worry about being treated differently simply based upon the fact they're immigrants.
Well, Alan, we're around the world. I've been all around the world. Wherever I go, whether it be to South America or to Europe, and this next year I'm going to try to make to Australia. Wherever I go, the people say to me before they know what I do or anything, they say, "Oh, the police in America, right? How bad are the police in America?" And this is what I'm talking about. Like earlier, Alan said that this guy needs more training. I'm kind of off that bandwagon now. I think that these guys understand what they're doing, and I think that they've used more training to get out of criminal charges. And what I was thinking about, Alan, because if you guys don't know who Alan Beck is, he is a national treasure when it comes to fighting for the Second Amendment, fighting for your First Amendment. He is the first lawyer to get a case, to create case law against Facebook that made it so that the police departments on Facebook couldn't delete your comments. That was Alan Beck's case 12 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, well, the lawsuit wasn't against Facebook. I sued the Honolulu Police Department over the fact they were deleting people's comments on their official Facebook page. And what I argued was that you have since your tax dollars are going to maintain that Facebook page, then it doesn't matter that it's on a private platform. And the Honolulu Police Department, since it's their tax dollars as a government actor that's going to maintain it, that they have to respect your constitutional rights in that setting, just like in the same way that at a public park or something.
Oh, so that's how you were able to get the holding. You sued the police department because they have to pay somebody to sit there and moderate or create or add pictures or whatever. So the person who's being paid to do the adding of pictures or videos or make statements on there, that's a publicly funded employee.
Yeah.
So you created the case based on the fact that since the public is paying for that moderation, then your First Amendment rights would be applied. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. I'm very proud of the result. To this day, every single social media platform in Honolulu, I believe in Hawaii in general, adopted we brought the ACLU in and we negotiated a First Amendment compliant social media standards that was adopted by the Honolulu Police Department, and through them, every other government agency, to my knowledge, that has social media. And a couple years later, we sued San Diego sheriffs over the exact same thing, and they ended up actually shutting down their Facebook page rather than trying to come up with a protocol. But
the San Diego Police Department closed down their Facebook page because you threatened to file suit against them?
No, the San Diego Sheriff's Department.
San Diego Sheriff's Department.
And we did file a lawsuit, and that case was settled. And ultimately, rather than deal with having a First Amendment protocol, and deal with potentially negative criticism on their Facebook page, they decided just to shut down their social media on Facebook. That had ripple effects. Due to that, a lot of the other law enforcement in California had to change up what they were doing because, the bottom line here is, let's just say you're from Tallahassee. You've never been to San Diego or Honolulu. You happened upon the San Diego Sheriff's Department's page, and all the comments there are saying very good things about the police department. And maybe there's 100 comments. I'm just throwing out a number that we're talking about, say, some police brutality or some other type of misconduct, and you don't see that. Your impression of the public perception of the San Diego Sheriff's Department is, hey, this is a very well-loved, well-liked police department because they were able to moderate the content of the speech that's allowed to be hosted there. And, they have a right to have no comments. They don't have to allow commenting on their own Facebook page, but ultimately they can't make a content-based censorship in their comment section. They can't put up all the pro-police and delete all the anti-police, or they can't Trump or Obama or Biden, they can't pick up, say, a political party. That would be a content-based restriction.
Have you considered running for any kind of political office, Alan?
I never have myself, but it's not something that I would. I'd be open to the possibility if a good opportunity came my way, but it's nothing I've ever put any thought into.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I know
the reality is I'm one of the few litigators that does what I do, and right now I'm my clients need me, and not just in the realm of First, Second Amendment law. I'm also working. I'm representing many of the victims of the Lahaina wildfire, and I'm trying to get as many of them compensation so that they can get their lives around after the tragedy that happened last year. And between that and my work in constitutional rights, it's I feel like I'm needed in the law right now. Although so it's not. I haven't really seriously considered
politics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's okay. I mean, it's always good to have a freedom fighter like you on our side, and then this guy.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're gonna walk away.
We never get his name.
We're not worth my job.
With his job, why are you so mad you want to fight him? Because he told you you're presenting your name tag incorrectly.
You should have thought about that one about 10 minutes ago. Okay, that's absolutely fine.
There you go.
Wonderful day, man.
Oh,
he says, "Have a wonderful day, man," as he has his murder gloves on.
Well, don't worry. I'll drop that report tonight. Yeah. Lying to me, telling me I gotta... Did you really just fucking say that? Lying to me, telling me I gotta...
You need to go back to wherever you came from is what this dirty little PIG just said.
Report tonight. Yeah. Lying to me, telling me I gotta...
You need to go back to where you came from. I mean, talk about the classic racist dog whistle. Like, are you kidding me?
Look, Andrew very clearly has an English accent.
Yeah.
And, this is, it's unfair and it's unprofessional to treat a person differently simply because they're an immigrant to this country.
And Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, but once you step on American soil, and from what my understanding is, obviously, Alan has far surpassed my autodidactic education. He's gone to, tons of schooling and learned so much and practiced law for over 25 years. So from my understanding, the reason why they had Guantanamo Bay is because once you step foot on American soil, your rights are then respected. So your friend Andrew, his rights were intact the moment he was on Waikiki soil.
That's absolutely right. And how I got to know Andrew is there was a point when Andrew could not own a firearm. And the reason that he got into advocacy is because, in 2014, the state of Hawaii had a long-standing ban on green card holders owning firearms. No one from another country owned one. So I filed a lawsuit. It was called Fortuitous, the city and county of Honolulu, and the state of Hawaii.
Okay, that's absolutely fine.
There you go.
Sorry, the video's playing in the background. Say it again.
The state of Hawaii was the main defendant, but we sued both the city and county and the state. And, we got the ban overturned and so we show that green card holders, resident aliens, also have constitutional rights, and the Second Amendment applies to them. And, it shows how what happened afterwards just simply shows how recalcitrant the governments of Hawaii are in, respecting the constitutional rights of its residents, especially its immigrant residents like my client, like Andrew. The city and county of Honolulu passed an ordinance immediately afterwards that said that okay, we recognize the state law has been overturned. However, and so now if you're a green card holder, you have to go to your country of origin and get them to certify that you're qualified to own a firearm under Hawaii law.
No way.
And, you know, that, how's that going to work as a practical matter?
It's not.
Yeah, I mean, imagine you come from some war-torn country in Southeast Asia, and you're being told you need to go back there, track down someone, you know, potentially in a country that's in the middle of a civil war, to review Hawaii law and see if your, you know, arrest history in your home country qualifies you in under Hawaii law. And you know, here's the thing: Andrew gives me a call, and he tells me, "Hey, I thought you got rid of the green card ban," and you know, I was like, "What do you mean you still can't own a firearm?" And he told me that the county was saying, in effect, that you need to go back to England to get certified that you can own a firearm here. And you know, that was ridiculous. I mean, something that I told the other side was, you know, we fought the American Revolution,
right,
so that the English can't tell us whether we can own firearms here in the United States. So now the city and county is going to pass law that's, at least as applied to Andrew, is make him go to the crown that he fought the Revolutionary War to be free from, so that he can exercise constitutional rights here in America.
Right. So that means I'm Colombian. My father's Colombian, and if I had been born in, if I came from Colombia, then I would need to get permission from the Colombian government to carry a firearm in Hawaii.
Yeah, you'd have to get them to sign some type of certification form. And thankfully, we got rid of that. The city and county settled, and you know, we were able to get rid of that. I was actually very proud. We took that up to the Ninth Circuit on the issue of attorney's fees because they didn't want to pay us anything. And you know, we got the Ninth Circuit of all places to write an excellent opinion that demonstrated that we were entitled to attorney's fees because the city and county had agreed in their settlement agreement that we were the prevailing party. We're the prevailing party because, you know, this is a blatantly unconstitutional mechanism. But anyway, the point is, and this is why I feel so passionately about what this police officer said to Andrew, is Andrew went on to help form the Hawaii Firearms Coalition, along with another one of my friends, Todd Yukitaki, and another gentleman, John Abbott. And this became the first firearms advocacy group in Hawaiian history. And you know, I've been proud to help them along the way over the past decade. And you know, that's an American story there. He comes here, you know, he meets his now wife, and they, you know, he decides he's going to live here, and he comes to this country. He immediately takes part in advocacy by, you know, standing up for his constitutional rights. He gets them, and then he becomes so inspired by our American traditions that he becomes a passionate defender of the Second Amendment, and you know, that's as American as it gets. And that's what this country is about: inviting people in, welcoming people in from other countries, and allowing them to assimilate into our country, into this beautiful melting pot, which is the United States of America. And, you know, and watch them become fully part of the American people, as Andrew has over these past decade. And well, he's been here longer than that, but the decade I've known him. And you know, to have a you know, a government official at the end of the day, you know, a law enforcement officer, tell him that he's something other than a member of the body politic simply because he was born in another country. I mean, it's more than unprofessional.
It's
mean,
racist.
Yeah,
It's absolutely racist. And not everything for me is racist, but it's racist.
Yeah. And, it sends a horrible message to other people that maybe they've just recently come to this country and they think they found a new home, a place where they feel safe. Especially all our many immigrants that come here from, war-torn countries. And, we need to set a certain level of professionalism among law enforcement. So it doesn't percolate down. It doesn't create a culture where individuals, immigrants like Andrew, feel like they're second-class citizens just because they were born someplace other than U.S. soil.
We need someone to recognize this copper right here so we can get his name and at least file a proper complaint. Alan, what you just said, I wish I don't have the ability to rewind this, but I'll rewind this when I watch this back. What Alan just said is that when you move here from another country and you take an oath to the Constitution to be an American and to follow all the laws and be a good citizen, you should feel like this is now your new home and that you're welcome here and your rights are respected here. They put Gitmo in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, because you're not allowed to do that to people here. And so when Andrew was, and if you take a look at the piece of equipment that Andrew was carrying around with him, the Hayberg, the halberd, obviously he's engaged in activism. No one's walking around with a halberd, in an attack mode. Nobody's attacking anybody with the halberd. So he's in a state of activism. They know he's in a state of activism, so they want to stifle his activism because no one's using a halberd to attack and kill people unless they're already doing it. You're not walking down the street with a halberd just in case, you have it for your protection. But if you're a psychopath, you're going to be killing people with that weapon before the cops ever show up. So they did it to him just to stifle his ability to flex his rights, which I find to be absolutely despicable.
Absolutely.
I don't know if racist is the right term, discriminatory,
xenophobic,
because he's obviously, he's probably whitish.
Yeah, he's a Caucasian gentleman, but it's certainly xenophobic. It's your national origin is something that needs to be protected. Just as much as your as ethnic as your
right.
ethnicity, because there's the reality is there is a long dirty history of people coming from from other countries that have been treated poorly, and that's something we have to proactively fight against. It's and we have to again, I know some of your viewers might be watching and thinking, hey, there's a lot of bad stuff that happens. But, it's the reality is that when you're in a public area like this, you're with other law enforcement personnel, and you are feeling comfortable enough, either you have such a low grasp of your emotions that you allow yourself to get out of control and you say something like this, or B, you feel comfortable enough while you're in this public area, lots of people around, your coworkers around, and you still are willing to say something that at a bare minimum is unprofessional and is, at a bare minimum xenophobic to a person from another country, then, that shows that there's a problem here. And, we stop the problem small while it's small. And, then this gentleman won't lose his cool when there aren't cameras around. Maybe it's in areas where when he doesn't have a coworker that's willing to restrain him. And that's what happened. It might have just been a small hand on the shoulder, but what's that? This was an angry person. It was an angry person because over nothing, because somebody didn't want to give ID and he thought that he was able to control the situation, but it turned out that state law says otherwise. And
There's the halberd right there. We can see it. He's got the halberd right there. That's the medieval spear-like weapon that he was carrying for self-defense because Allen had fought for his right to carry it. And so that weapon right there, the cops came out and actually said, threatening him, telling him to go back to his country, treating him like shit. You know, and Alan and I have talked, you know, he feels different about police than I do. I'm pretty extreme where I want to abolish law enforcement and restart rights protectors. So, you know, he has his own perspectives and opinions and stuff. But Alan, you know, I started off with this rendition of delete laws, just showing someone who'd been arrested for not showing ID. So, you know, I cover anything that has to do with your civil liberties being cheated, being slighted, being shaded, being cooled, you know, and that's what our government is doing time and time again, is they're just running roughshod over us. And this whole detainment thing with Terry versus Ohio, detainment has now become a POW style of arrest. And I don't really know how to change it right now until I get into a position of power within government. I don't know if there's any, go ahead.
Well, you know, I mean, and, you know, let's get to the core of the issue here is, you know, if, at the end of the day, I mean, we all have to abide by the law. And if someone wants to exercise his rights on the law, he shouldn't be treated poorly because of it. If the American voter, or in this case, you know, the Hawaiian voter, have voted that you don't have to present ID in this particular situation, then you have every right, and you shouldn't be harassed. You shouldn't be threatened, because what are they trying to do? They're when you're doing that, that's trying to get you to give up your rights, your legal rights, through coercion, you know, through intimidation, and that's not okay. I mean, the police are here to maintain a some semblance of order, right, and uphold the law. I know we might disagree on that point, but
well, you're right. You are correct. The police are supposed to be here to uphold the peace and the semblance of law. I totally agree with that. That's not what's happening. They're not doing that. Like Mikey B said here, if you make them mad, they'll just arrest you for nothing. Turn around, put your hands behind your back. And now if you don't comply, you're resisting. Now they can taser you, shoot you, kill you. And that's what we're facing. So the entire Terry versus Ohio detainment part of it has gotten completely out of hand. It used to be a light pat down with the back of the hand outside the trousers. Now it's lay on your belly, you're going in torture cuffs, and it has to be changed, Alan. It has to be changed. I'm all for law and order, 100% for rule of law. John Locke social contract, you know, Jean-Jacques Rousseau social contract. I'm for those two social. Well, John Locke's social contract was kind of brutal. If you didn't obey the rule of law, you were executed. So John Locke was a little bit hardcore, but I would like to get it where we end this detainment thing. What would be your recommendation to get rid of detainment?
Well, you know, I mean, I think that the best thing that we could do is we need to abolish the doctrine of qualified immunity. That's something that, so for your viewers who don't know, qualified immunity is a doctrine that protects government officials, not just law enforcement, although it's most commonly used to protect law enforcement from civil liability. And what it says is that, yes, you have a right. There's a law called 42 U.S.C. 1983. And that law allows you to sue government officials for civil rights violations. And in something called a personal capacity suit, that's when you're suing the actual individual. You have to, rather than the government as a whole. And say in a police brutality case, you have to show that the cop, the law enforcement officer, was not only that was his conduct unconstitutional, that the law enforcement officer was on notice that his conduct was unconstitutional. And the only way you can do that is typically by showing that that appeals court or a court directly above the court you're in has already ruled on this issue. And that's most of the times insurmountable task. I mean, what if you're in a jurisdiction that is very, very favorable to law enforcement, they will find small niche areas where they disagree, where the fact pattern is just slightly different than what's previously decided, and say, well, shoot, how is this law enforcement supposed to know that he's not allowed to shoot a person at a bridge? The last case was on a freeway. It's a completely different situation. Bridges are obviously much more dangerous than freeways when you pull someone over. It's complete. I'm just.
It's hyperbole nonsense, is what you're saying.
But,
the way is to use your cop card and read the Supreme Court case that upholds your rights. That's why I created this, so that people could go around qualified immunity by showing the cop. Number 4 says you got to give ID. Well, Hibble versus Nevada says that I don't got to give ID. I have to say how I identify. This is the best way that I've come up with to get around qualified immunity. I'm opening to learning more, though.
Yeah, and well, I mean, it's. I think in reality, I mean, the best mechanism to get rid of qualified immunity is probably going to be through the legislature. There's a lot of state laws are being passed that are trying to get rid of qualified immunity, at least in the state courts. It will take a federal amendment, a federal law, I should say, or
an amendment to the Constitution that your Fourth Amendment can't be violated for no reason.
Or maybe the Supreme Court will overturn. But as a at the state level, it's much more realistic. We're going to see reform there. We've already seen some states pass laws that say qualified immunity just doesn't work in the state courts. And if you see it on the ballot, you should vote for it, and you should get active in your community and show that. This is let everyone know this is a good thing. I mean, a lot of people are afraid that if government officials have to pay for their misconduct, then no one will want to be a government official. But
perfect,
won't want to be in law enforcement. But I mean, that gets said all the time, especially by the unions. And look, there's two things. I mean. These are relatively well-paying jobs, something on a free market. And guess what? Security guards don't get qualified immunity. And there's lots of people that fill security guard jobs.
Right.
And magically there's I don't believe there's a dearth of people that are of security jobs need to be filled. And let's say if there's something called the free market. You just pay them more. Eventually, those jobs get filled.
Well, they're trying that with cops right now. They're trying to pay cops more money. They're doing everything they can to get people to sign up to be cops, but no one wants to sign up to be cops. What do you think the deal is?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of aspects of it. I mean, look, I legitimately believe it is a difficult job, and it's. For the most part, and again, we differ here. I support the police, and I think there's been some unfortunate attacks from the political left on our law enforcement. But on the other hand, I mean, there's also a lot of things that a lot of people fundamentally disagree with that law enforcement have to do sometimes. I mean, imagine if you lived in New York City or a law enforcement officer in New York City, and you had to actively participate in stop and frisk. Stop and frisk was a policy which was done to, an
extension of Terry versus Ohio.
Yeah. And, I mean, if you didn't want to be a part of that, you basically had two options: quit or find a different department. And, it's similarly, I mean, have no doubt there's a lot of law enforcement. There's a lot of people that don't want to get involved in law enforcement because, that requires them to uphold or penalize people for engaging in certain activities that might be that they have moral qualms about. I mean, it's
It
you know,
requires Alan. I mean, this guy to me is a champ. I absolutely adore this guy. We have different perspectives here. You would have to agree to be a cop to sign up to do those policies, procedures, and protocols to other people. And the policies, procedures, and protocols, you take a good man or a good woman who signs up to be a cop and then say you have to do this to people. Like you said with stop and frisk, which I just want to reiterate, stop and frisk is not possible without Terry versus Ohio. Stop and frisk is Terry versus Ohio done on a statewide scale or a metropolitan scale in New York. So I believe, Alan, the reason why people don't want to sign up to be cops isn't because of a radical left agenda. I think it's because lay on your belly, get on your knees. I'm going to enter you into a POW style of arrest upon my suspicion of you. I believe that that's the reason why people are not becoming police.
I think that that's certainly probably part of it. I mean, the war on drugs in this country has been a massive failure. Yeah. And, every day where I live, people die due to the fentanyl crisis in this country. Yeah. And, if you're especially if you're a federal law enforcement, you watch our immigration policies just absolutely failed us. We are allowing we're allowing a crisis to occur in this country. And, a lot of their law enforcement, on the one hand, have their hands tied to protect the community. On the other hand, they have to actively go into communities and cause a lot of enforce policies that they probably disagree with, while they have to turn a blind eye to a lot of the things that are legitimately causing harm to our society. I mean,
like illegal immigration.
Yeah, illegal immigration. The fact our border has just become just extremely porous. We've allowed the foreign countries to just ship this toxic substance, fentanyl, into our country. And why aren't we going and securing our borders and going after these cartels that instead, we're harassing a guy because he's carrying a halberd down the street. I mean, right? I mean, and a lot of that has to do with just on a fundamental level. I mean, municipalities need to generate revenue, and a lot of what law enforcement do, and this has nothing to do with individual law enforcement, but they're there to generate revenue for the for the city that they work for, and tickets are a big part of that. Small violations that people pay fines for, that generates revenue for the cities. And, these cities want to enforce things like that against people who will pay because they want to make money. Whereas some of the tougher things, it costs money to enforce. Again, I have no doubt that it would be very difficult for the city where I live in to crack down on the Mexican cartels that are shipping across fentanyl, and I'm sure it would cost millions of dollars. And but it would be something worth doing if there was a political will to do it. But instead, they'd like to ticket you for going, for having your high beams on.
Right.
So you can pay, $300 to into the city's coffers times 1,000 or thousands of people a year. And
right.
Now they get to fund another pork barrel project that they need, and
it's funny, Alan. I don't think that most good people, and we can see this across the country from Hawaii to Alaska, Florida to California, most good people don't want to sign up to give people tickets. And that's what a lot of the policing in America is. I can name 3 states off the top of my head, Texas, Ohio, and West Virginia, that all 3 destroyed their grape kits. They had a bunch of grape kits up on shelves. And because the grape kit doesn't create any revenue, you just have to put someone on to investigate the sexual assault. They just threw them all in the trash and burned them. I know these cases. And so they don't, the law enforcement, which I disagree with as well, there should be peace officers. And the law enforcement in this country is only concerned about graping us to get our money. They're trying to get our money. So for me, because I am a good person, I would never sign up to do that, to rip people off, to torture people, to hurt people. And we can have no legitimate conversation about getting rid of torture cuffs. Why can't we? It's 2024. I've designed a new apparatus to detain people. I'm going to unveil it this next month. There's other ways we could be doing this. And the idea that, so when I was just in jail for 4 months, when I was in jail, I talked to Alan several times from jail. They want to make fentanyl a death sentence. That if you give a fentanyl pill to someone else, that's attempted murder. If you buy or sell a fentanyl pill, that you are selling attempted murder, essentially. It's not going to have any effect. Whereas legalization and regulation would have a dramatic, immediate, overnight effect. You would no longer have fentanyl showing up in your Rick James, your white powder. You wouldn't have that anymore. It would be regulated. But this government refuses to accept that over half of our country is using chemicals regularly, every day. Over half. So I just have a real fundamental problem with the term law enforcement, with detainment, with jails and prisons, because if jails, and we've had the war on drugs since 1971, like you mentioned, it's been an abysmal failure. When Richard Nixon, one of the worst presidents in U.S. history, he declared war on drugs and we're still implementing his policy. This is Richard Nixon's America. So we continue to implement this war on drugs, but I was just in jail. It's not getting any better. The people who are doing chemicals in jail can't wait to get out and do chemicals as soon as they get out. One guy told me that doing chemicals is like loving your mother. You just do it. So, we could sit and debate all night about law enforcement versus peace officers, but the entire system to me is corroded and corrupted, must be torn down and restarted. The fact that we've given these guys autonomy, that police departments they're not the state police department, they're their own autonomous agency. In Hawaii, the Honolulu Police Department, they're not beholden to the city of Honolulu. They can have meetings with them, but they have their own contract. And that has to change. It has to be a state-run or facility, but it's not. The jail I was just in, that's not owned by Las Vegas or by Clark County. Somebody owns the jail. They're making money. And that's where we are right now. We're in a backwards, upside down situation. And when I was talking to someone last night, when you get down to focusing on what exactly we can do, what exactly we should do, I can only focus on what I can focus on. And it's just like Alan and I talked, he's focused on trying to change the Honolulu Police Department to treat people fairly, to respect people's rights. I'm focused on trying to overturn Terry versus Ohio and Atwater versus City of Lago Vista that makes everything a crime. I want to get in every state constitution that the only reason you can be arrested and taken to jail is if you're a danger to society. And that's where I want to get to. But I'll give you the final thoughts, Alan.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of great ground tonight, Shirley. And, I'd like to thank you for having me on the show. I really believe that it's important that people see just the comments that were made to Andrew. And, for one simple reason, hopefully if we can expose this and, the police will be in the Honolulu Police Department will be put on notice that every time they engage in xenophobic speech against one of Hawaii's residents, that they're going to be publicly called out on it, and and hopefully we can have just a tiny little bit of reform because of this incident.
Yeah, that would be nice. It would be nice if people were treated fairly, if people were treated like they are a citizen of this country, that we're all in this together. That would be great. But it's us versus them. And I mean, Alan said, all right, he supports the cops and he's He wants law and order, and I do too. The difference is I don't support law enforcement. I support rights protectors and rights upholders. And I'm just frustrated with it, Alan. I'm frustrated. And I'm not going to misguide my anger and say, oh, it's all Alan's problem. You know, it's all Alan's fault. You know, we disagree, so he's the problem. No, not at all. But I want to change things so badly. I mean, I think about it all day. When I wake up in the morning, first thing I think of is what can I do to change Terry versus Ohio to make it so everything's not arrestable. Atwater versus City of Lago Vista. How do we overturn Atwater? Can you tell me that? Where they've made a Supreme Court holding that anything is arrestable. How do we overturn that one?
Well, you know, it's it can be done. You know, Supreme Court precedent can be overturned
Through legislation.
Yeah, I mean, through legislation. And it requires a lot of advocacy. It just requires a lot of grassroots efforts, you know. So ultimately, the show, your show, and you know, just getting people, informing people about what the courts have said, and getting people to, you know, get passionate about it. I mean, that's because, you know, the reality is most people don't know what the Supreme Court, much less the appeals courts, have said about their constitutional rights.
Yeah, this case here, Alan, this was Grisham versus Georgia, 1793. This case was the Supreme Court ruled that the states could be sued individually. 1792, Alexander Chisholm attempted to sue the state of Georgia in the U.S. Supreme Court over payments due to him for goods that Robert Farquhar had supplied Georgia during the Revolutionary War. The defendant, Georgia, refused to appear, claiming it was a sovereign state. It could not be sued without consenting suit. Can the state citizens sue state governments? And then the Supreme Court said, yes, they can. That's what this says. In a 4-1 decision, the court for the plaintiff reasoned Article 3, Section 2 abrogated the state's sovereign immunity and granted federal courts the affirmative power to hear disputes between private citizens and states. Thus, state conduct was subject to judicial review. Now, that case was overcome by the 11th Amendment that made it so that you could not sue states. It's illegal. You have to get permission from Georgia to sue them. So I'd like to see some legislation passed like this that, I mean, Terry versus Ohio is one thing, but Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, that's another. You shouldn't be arrested for not using a blinker or having your. We just saw a pretty famous First Amendment auditor, an activist, and an actor. We just saw him get arrested for tinted windows. So it's got to be, you know, it's got to be changed. It's got to be changed. Jaime here said he's been following me for 4 years and I haven't done shit. So I'm just thanks for coming, Jaime. All right, Alan, anything else you want to say?
No, you've been wonderful, Shirley. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for having me, buddy. I'll see you next time, okay?
See ya.
Later, Gator. So, man, Jaime with the hate bomb. Where's that coming from, Jaime? Larry, everybody welcome Larry as a new member. Thanks for joining, Larry. I really appreciate it. You know, it's been such a long grind. This last couple years has been. Did I locked up here? Where are we at? Are we locked? Are we frozen? Is it frozen? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I'm not sure why it did this. There we go. Are we back? Sorry about that. Can you hear me? The video was frozen. Can you guys hear me okay now? Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me all right. Thank you for coming. I super, super appreciate it. It's been, audio is good. Video is frozen. You can hear me. Okay, cool. Listen, you know, Alan Beck, I got nothing but respect and admiration for the guy. He's been a friend to me. He said he supports police. I don't. I don't support law enforcement. I support rights protectors. I support peace officers. I support those things, but I don't support law enforcement. I think that you can't have a surveillance state with a law enforcement mentality. You can have a surveillance state if there's peace officers. You can't have a surveillance state plus law enforcement. That doesn't work. And we're moving into a surveillance state. Do you guys agree with that? Do you guys agree with that? We are moving into a surveillance state where they're going to surveillance everything. There's going to be a camera everywhere. You can't have a surveillance state and a state that's based on enforcing laws on people. That doesn't work. You're going to create a carceral state, which is a jail state, prison state, which is what we're living in now, a carceral state. That's what we're living in right now. Make sure you guys get a TRIFOLD. Get a TRIFOLD. Get a TRIFOLD. Go to deletelaws.com. Go to deletelaws.com. Get a TRIFOLD. Get a pair of cop cards. You should have one of these in your wallet. You should have. Do me a favor. Type down in the comment section, if you would, please, for me. OTVO stands for Overturn Terry versus Ohio. OTVO. I'll put it right here. It looks something like this. There it is. Mikey B just put it. Get your TRIFOLD on deletelaws.com. Make sure you get a TRIFOLD. Have one in your car. If you have one already, get one for a friend or a cousin or a brother or a sister. Make sure you always invoke your Fifth Amendment right. Always, always, always. Nice to see you. Oh, sorry about that, Tim Blias. How are you, my friend? Nice to see you. OTVO, Unbelted Vortex, Knitcrom case. What is going on? April. Hello, dear. April, I got those shirts now. I got to my storage unit. I'm going to get you a shirt. Chevy, what is going on? We don't stop, said Deanna Cherry. Bill, what is going on? OTVO, Danelle Brown. Nice to see you. Danelle Brown, and there's a few of you others in here that always make me feel like I have someone's watching my six. I really appreciate you. Roger Lane, good to see you, man. Surveillance state. You can't have a surveillance state and a law enforcement state. You can have a surveillance state if there's peace officers who are protecting rights. You can't have a surveillance state plus law enforcement. Everybody's going to go to jail because there's so many laws created that you're going to go to jail for just anything. You have rights. Cops have duties. Always good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. Steve Conkler, my buddy. Nice to see you. Your Fourth Amendment as well. I am back. I am really good. I'm getting better and better every day. I'm not sure if you guys can tell. I got my teeth fixed. This ultimately probably won't be the final fix for these teeth, but I'm sure hoping it does. Grateful Dabs, Brick Jonesy, what is going on? Charlie Bear is right there asleep. He is going to live. Charlie he had a spleen infection and he beat it through medication. Charlie, come here. Charlie, come here. Come here. He's not super duper like, come on, Batman Dawn. Come on. Come on, Chili. Come on. Come on, God. Mr. Pliskin, Charlie DeBear. All right, listen, I got to get the flock out of here. I really appreciate you guys coming. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Get over to Delete Laws. Make sure you get a TRIFOLD, pair of cop cards. Got other stuff coming out here pretty quick. I've got something I can show you tomorrow. I have it with me now. I just haven't opened the box. Thank you, Right Way Ministries, for sending that to me. I'll put it out tomorrow. All right, I got to get the flock out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators!